we'll start bucket stuff. You're welcome. The orange sounds will still be here.
They will be here.
They're not going. They're not going anywhere. Okay, remember when we talked yesterday about circle work? We said you're teaching, not checking to see if they know it. So here we are doing same and different. Now it depends on the age of your children. The young threes may not really know this word same yet. And we're not using same and different with the young threes. The older threes and the fours, you can. Maybe the older threes later in the year after they've learned same and not the same.
Yes.
But to start with, you're just doing same and not the same. But as they turn to be four, then you're adding the word different. You've got to keep increasing their vocabulary because you don't want to keep using baby words as they get older. So here we are, we're looking at stars. These are stars, aren't they? And sometimes, depending on how much time you have, you know, if circle went long, you got to move this part fast. If you got through early, then you could spend a little more time on what you're doing. So here are two stars. These are both yellow stars, aren't they? So they're both yellow. That part is the same. But are they really the same? Can you tell me what makes them different? And everybody talks at once. And I say, yes. This one is smaller. This one is bigger. We have a big one and we have a little one. So they're not the same, are they? No. Here are two stars. Are these stars the same? Yes. This star is yellow. This star is yellow. This one is the same size and this one is the same size. They're both stars, they're both yellow, and they are the same size. All right, I did not have my cards ready. Now we're ready. Here are two shapes. They look a little like flowers, don't they? They're not real flowers, they're just shapes, and they're purple. Are these two shapes the same? Well, they look the same, don't they? Well, let's see. Should we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, they're the same. They're both purple, they're the same size, and they have same number of points on them. Are these flowers the same? No, because one is red or pink and one is purple or blue. They're not the same. Here are two shapes. These shapes are the same. They're both green, they're the same size, and they're the same shape. They're squares, aren't they? Here are two more squares. Are these squares the same? No. One is green, one is black. Here are two boxes. Are these boxes the same? Yes. They have a blue box and a blue box, and they're the same size. Are these the same? No, they're different colors. Are these the same?
Yes. I don't know, that lollipop looks bigger.
Yeah,
Like one looks like thinner and one looks fatter.
they're the same. Are these the same? Are these the same?
Yes.
Are these the same?
No.
Are these the same?
No.
Are these the same?
Yes.
And then I would go through and pick one and say, are these the same?
No.
No, they're different colors. Well, it's hard to find just looking through here. In fact, we have to get back to the stars. Are these the same?
No.
They're different sizes. One is big, one is little. So you have to make sure you tell them what's different about them, what part makes them not the same. Because at the beginning, they just look at the colors. And looking at this upside down, it was a little hard to tell. But when you get to the one that is the same, then you can tell. And if you're introducing this concept, then I would fix it so that all the first 3 or 4 of them the same as first, and the next one is not the same. After you've done it a few times, when you've done it like you're on the 3rd or week or so, when they are used to seeing different shapes, different colors, different sizes, then you can mix them up and not always have the same first, or else they're going to say the same without even looking at it. And we're supposed to do this yesterday, but somehow I didn't have the cards. I got these cards and I thought they're labeled, what's wrong with this? And I thought, well, that's not the way I was looking at them. I had them folded the wrong way. They fold. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then I finally said, well, turn the thing over, open it, see what's wrong. All right, so, right, what's missing with it?
Wheel.
And you don't really notice this right away, do you? Because it's too busy a picture that you can't really notice there's a wheel missing. So a lot of times they may not be able to see what's missing, especially if they're young.
Picture that an inch big, probably that's not, that same picture an inch big. They don't figure out this. That's correct. That's my favorite.
And so then you show them this. Look, do you see what's missing? This wheel is missing. It's not it didn't have a wheel right there. And so now here's the picture that shows you the way it should be. All right, let's go back. What's missing?
The wheel.
The wheel. The wheel should go right down here. And now it has the wheel. And you see, if you pick it up first like this, you don't know what's missing.
Yeah.
All right, here's a tricycle that you ride. Can you tell what's missing on this tricycle?
The other pedal?
Pedal, yeah.
And they're going to have a hard time seeing that too, don't you think?
Yeah.
This is a tricky one.
Because it could be like the angle.
Right, the way you're looking at it. Well, when you sit on it, it's got the handlebars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a seat. It's got a front tire, and it's got 2 back tires. But what else do you have to do to make the tricycle go? You have to put your feet somewhere, and where do you put them? On the pedals. Those are called pedals. You put them on the pedals. So one foot goes here. Where does the other foot go? Oh, there's no place for the other foot, is there? It's missing its pedal. So what's missing is the pedal. And here shows you where the pedal could go. Do you see that? There it is. Now you have 2 of them, one for each foot. And here is the tricycle all fixed up now. It's not broken anymore. Here is a bicycle. They'll get this one. This is not hard. What's wrong? What's missing on this bicycle? And they'll all know that the handlebars are
And I don't
missing.
think they'll know what it's called.
No, they won't know. The thing you hold it,
They'll go, that!
yeah, that.
Or they'll try to get up and come touch
Come
it and
touch
tell
it.
you.
Oh, yeah.
That's always the fun one.
They all want to come and touch it and
I'll
tell
just
you.
show you.
So here it is with the handlebars. You see the handlebars? That's the part you hold. You call them handlebars. Can you say that word? Handlebars. What do you hold on to? Handlebars. And then if you've done this, and you go out to the playground, you might talk about the tricycle and the handlebars out there. And here is the bicycle all finished now. It looks good. This is a coffee pot. Or,
Percolator.
I think it's a coffee pot of some kind.
My grandma would make coffee.
We all know that it holds on liquid.
It has something, yeah. There's something missing on this. This is a tricky one, isn't it? What do you think might be missing? What are you gonna want to do with this? Are you gonna want to just sit and look at it? Would your mother want to sit and look at it if it had coffee in it? What would she want to do with it? She'd want to pour herself some coffee, wouldn't she? And where do you hold when you pour the coffee? Oh, there's no handle to hold, is there? The part you hold is called the handle. And here is a picture with the handle. Do you see what's missing there? Is the handle. Now here it is all fixed up. This windmill is broken. Can you see what's broken on it? And they probably do not know what a windmill is, much less what's broken on it. A windmill, I don't even know what a windmill does. The wind blows it around and it pumps water or whatever
What
it's
about the ones
pumping.
in a farm where there's no
wait.
water? Maybe it's for like electricity.
The wind turbines or whatever.
Yeah.
So it goes around and pumps water or does some other work. It's made to do work for something. And what makes it go around, these are the blades up here. They go around and the wind blows them, and that's what makes it go around, like a pinwheel. If you had a pinwheel, you could blow on it and show them how it turns it around. But there's something missing. What's missing is one of these arms. These are called the arms of it. It's sort of silly because windmills don't have arms like we do, but they call these the arms. And there's 1, 2, 3, and there should be 4. We should have one more right here. So one of the arms is missing, or the blades. And here's a picture of where it should be. Somebody found one and put it together again. Yay, now it can work. Here it is. Now we have a windmill that's all fixed.
Not our licenses.
Do we need to go back to class?
It wouldn't hurt. Give class, it wouldn't hurt. We'll be back as soon as possible. Go with the flow.
You do what you do. Licensing is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Very important.
You make sure that Ben and Keegan are alive.
I think they were hoping for it. They were on the playground. Were they on the playground? When I went outside to get this book, they went out there.
We're not the only ones that scramble when I
Yeah.
I feel like that's everybody.
I'm missing things. Can I see some of this here? Everybody, woo.
I feel like I got like a residual like pastime panic.
Now,
Do you remember that paper?
Wait, I don't actually
It was
work
a
in that
touchdown,
center.
and all of that. And I said to Goose, I said, they can't see these pictures aren't as big. We're gonna touchdown. So she made a big fuss.
yes, but they shouldn't be over here,
There were Waller people in their room.
should they?
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
Lopez is in my room.
Because I walked back.
I don't
there,
either.
probably, 'cause she's
Unless they
so
need to
nice
put
and
what's
then-
missing in their bucket and please tell
But
Megan
she
to put it
was
in the bucket.
out.
But I don't think they should be in the bucket. We're discussing this should not be in the bucket. It's on kindergarten testing.
That's why Miss Green wanted it in the bucket. So we can have
But the
it.
idea of testing is something you don't know and you haven't practiced.
She made it, she's the one who told me to put them in there, so I was following directions.
We need to make something different.
There are some different ones.
Well, they may all be the ones from her
No,
testing
not.
page.
Yeah, this one is,
So for like what's missing?
that one
Yes.
is, this one is not. Those are. So these four are on my test.
I made
this one
other
is
ones
not.
that aren't on the test. I found images and made my own.
Well, all you have to do is take a picture and erase part of it,
Right,
white out part of it.
right. They don't all have them either because I didn't get that far. Putting them all in there. Some of them might have different colors.
I remember that windmill picture on the testing.
Those in here now.
I was just doing what I was told.
I can understand that.
My defense.
Okay, so let me just say what the rest of these here so that they're separate from these because
You can keep ones in the end.
they're not for kindergarten in my class.
Right.
They don't do that, so they'll be all right. So, yeah, so we do this one.
But to think about it, there's so many 3-year-olds.
And
they
this
don't
one.
remember over after they stop looking at it.
And we do this one.
They
Don't do this
remember all of them, but not seeing them.
Right. Or that, we don't do those. We do these.
What's missing on the swing?
The side of the chain.
Say
The
test
chain here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that incoming or is that the end of kindergarten?
This,
Into kindergarten.
this testing is, this testing is March and May.
Okay. I
So-
wasn't sure, because I mean, you kind of test kids that come in to kind of see where.
Right, but you don't,
But that stuff is part of the
Okay,
testing. Now, when I tell them I test on Vista or whatever, I'm telling them what I test on at the beginning in June.
that you're hoping that they know.
They know,
Here's
right?
what I was missing.
This stuff I know. So those, yes, I'll put these back in here, but these are
Those
ones.
can go back.
I guess they're all
And,
pictures.
and which, this one, one of these you didn't
Usually at
need.
those- At those free
The rest of them you used.
Well, and I think there's only one.
Go. It's that,
Yes,
This
that
one.
one. I don't think we do the pedal. We do the bike. We do the bicycle.
Which they should know that.
Yeah. And then we do the percolator.
Oh, wait, no, I was thinking, well, what's missing here? Well, that's the side where it's all right.
You had told Goose that they didn't know what a percolator was, and they had trouble with that one, and the penguin one. So I think was trying to be helpful and have them exposed to it in, well,
Well, we need a different picture, not the same picture. So
I'm
let's
sure to
see.
find like a different kind of teapot.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
the same picture.
Right. So these are the ones we
Okay,
don't.
let me make a list of what I need to flash.
Okay, so I don't know what bag these, but it doesn't matter what bag they go into, or we're just gonna take them out of the
It
bag.
doesn't matter what bag, the bags are labeled,
The pictures aren't.
and the bags are labeled. Yes,
Oh,
everything
they are
is labeled.
labeled.
Yeah, everything is labeled. So if we misplace something or something gets lost, I know where to.
I love that. It looks so.
Can you know how much time it took me to do?
We used to get all that.
Yeah, these are-
Galveston something.
All right,
Do you
so
need a bicycle?
And it was kind of labeled like.
I misspelled
So if I don't use this one here,
she doesn't.
You don't use that one.
She doesn't
Okay.
use
and I
that.
don't use this one, or
No, because I made that one, and I made that one, and I think Goose made that one.
and this one.
I made that one.
And I don't use that.
Goose made that one.
Yeah, sea life stuff.
Okay, so how about
I
these?
I need a
do use
penguin.
This one, this one I use.
Here's another tricycle.
There's that one that I don't use.
There's another one.
Oh, and I do use this one.
You do? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Looks like a Lisa Frank girl.
It's a shoe.
I know, but it looks like it's a Lisa Frank girl. And that was
I think that-
well before.
Wait, take it back.
I don't
it's
think
on
you
my-
use
It's not on
that.
my, it's not on my paper. It's one of my, yeah, it's one of the ones I had in class.
Yeah, use
Yeah,
But I
that
don't have
paper.
that, but I do have this one. This is one the kids see this really little, about an inch big, and they have no idea it's missing its beak because it looks like a beak.
It looks like it's a mouse to me.
So it's the penguin.
The penguin, the rooster, I use the rooster,
I only nap.
the
Fan.
ceiling fan,
And the percolator too, right?
and the
Yeah.
percolator.
Where'd that one go?
And
It's in here.
I think it's in this one. I'm trying to put them back in the bag, baby.
It's fine.
And here, this is the truck,
I have that.
You have the truck?
the percolator, the bicycle, and the windmill.
I have
So the
those.
bicycle, but you don't need the tricycle.
No, I don't do tricycle.
So this is bicycle, bicycle, and then what was the other one? The windmill?
Yeah.
And then I have these ones, baby.
And you use those ones too?
I use this one.
Okay.
So that's one,
So
two,
just take them out.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Just take them out, put them in a pile. So it was the plane,
I left some of the preschool work that
What else?
I left there.
The
ceiling fan.
Ceiling fan. and
Anchor.
I saved,
Alright, see what I can find.
I saved Nicole.
How many is that? Because there are some that she didn't,
Yeah, there's like 12 on the
there's like
page.
a laundry pole, there's a ladder.
Yeah, she didn't do those.
Well, I know there's a.
Because
she did
those were
other
the easy
ones.
ones.
She did other ones. The ladder is really hard with those, with the steps missing. And the door that has the panel missing, they can't get that one until they have.
10.
Yeah, because there's ones that she didn't need.
Right.
So here's your ceiling
Because she figured
fan
those were easier. So take them, put them in a pile,
and penguin.
and then that way I know kind of which one to put where.
And don't put them back in an envelope.
No, put these ones back in the envelope though.
Let's put them back in the right envelope.
Yes.
There's only one that goes in this envelope.
I told you I was.
Wait a minute, so
I
11,
got
I have
11.
11.
Yeah,
11.
I have 11, so I should have 11.
England.
England,
we got
No, this
two.
is 3. She's bucket number 3. She's bucket number 7. So which one is
Well,
that one?
look at this.
Yeah.
yeah, she
You
knows
didn't,
everything.
You didn't, okay, and that's bucket number 1. So that's
That's-
1.
That's what
That's
I've got.
7.
Oh,
So those two go in here.
Those two high school boys carry each other
So that's
around.
number 3.
I thought they were gonna get.
what happened to one?
I don't
I
know.
think it's here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Goes this way.
this is it.
You were talking about digging up dishes. The whole red house.
Okay.
I have 10, you have 10, we match.
Okay. And this one goes in here. That's number 7.
You need me to come up here and just work full time and make stuff. That's what Jerry Ann did. She made stuff. She made a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they did better yesterday.
We're like pine and cedar where we're at. We have a few oak trees. There's a lot of pine. And a lot of.
Driving down the street, they'll trees that have no shade trees and stuff. I'm thinking, I can imagine how much you've got.
I know.
My yard is full of trees. I've got shade everywhere. Because that's how I did it. So that whenever it got older, I'd have shade trees everywhere and think, thank God I did that because it's just, it makes a big difference.
Because we're kind of in the woods, we're not a subdivision, so it's just.
But you're surrounded with
houses,
trees.
yeah, because-
The light breaks the heat up.
Yes,
It does break the heat up. I've had people come down my truck and go, it's 10 degrees cooler on your corner than it is the rest of the stuff. Because I've got trees lining my sidewalk and around my house. It breaks that heat up and it gives you shade.
Like our back door faces the west, but we have a covered porch. And we, on the back, well, we have a black trash bag on the back door, that's our curtain.
I have no windows on either side of my house, so when the sun sets or comes up, I have no heat coming in. So then it cuts the way to build the house, that's about it. I didn't want direct sunlight in my windows or in the back of the house.
The east side has, our closet has a window and a ceiling
Well,
fan.
people have windows in their closets. Well, my
And so
neighbors
one of them is our closet, the other one is one of the boys' bedrooms, and then one of the dormers upstairs. That's all on the east. But there's so many trees over there, we really,
As long as there's something to break it up, you know. But they were tree, one of the tree fell on my vehicle, not my
Oh.
car. Yeah, my vehicle, my SUV, it was in my driveway, it fell across, with a rock tree that fell, the vehicle down. Siobhan took it down, she fixed my car
Miss
too.
White,
because it just-
What do you think you
But it's
need
amazing that
a little more
that rock tree, that
understanding on
sunshade,
here?
And now it's really hot in the front door on that side, it's like, over here now, because of this tree. Took this tree out.
Uh-huh.
But it's not my problem because you're with the tree for them. I have a huge tree in my front yard. My house.
After. You do everything first because they love the buckets. And so if we can't get through our work, we can't get to the right. And it's a fun part for you too. It's much better than the counting and all the other stuff. So you do it at the end. It's really the shortest part of circle because you can speed it up.
those are on the south side, those are the
Right.
ones that really get down.
And the buckets maybe take 10 minutes
I
or
don't think
less.
there's enough break with the
And
trees.
they're such that you can speed it up and you don't have to go into detail. You can just say the opposite is this one, what's missing is the. So you can speed it up or slow it down.
We're just teaching and we're not.
We're not
But on the other side.
for wrong or right answers. You're teaching. Wrong or right answers comes on shelf work, on testing, on other stuff.
But I got,
And a lot of things that you teach, you don't always test on everything that you teach. You can't.
I brought some of those.
I mean, how would you know what's in everybody's head?
You're the one that
You
gave it
can't.
to me, wasn't supposed to hang it, it's a huge wind tower, gotta go in your tree. You bought it for me, you didn't want me to hang it, did you?
Yeah, and it makes circle a little bit longer by adding the buckets, but
Right before my-
it's the fun part and it's the things that you have to have objects or pictures or something to get across to make it more interesting. You've done all this boring stuff. Yeah.
That's how you train them.
Buckets everybody likes. They're always sad when
I'm
you
excited
say.
now. I'm like, okay, now I have a plan.
So you have something, they have something to look forward to. All right, we've got to do counting, and we got to do numbers, and we got to say days of the week, and we have to touch and count, and we have to say it fast. Oh, yay, we get to,
Pull all that out.
right. That's what they like the best. And it doesn't really matter much how old they are, they like those. Because it is more fun. Much more fun than, because it's different every day.
It's not the same. I like that too.
Yeah, it's not the same every day. Same, you get 4 things, but they're not the same things. And you will get these things again, most of them, but they're not right away. It's not like you're going to get it the next day. Yeah, and after a month you switch buckets, so you have all new stuff again.
What we're doing now is like any piece of trash that I can wash.
So then they get such a wide variety.
Especially the sugary.
Now, originally we only had 4 buckets, so you did the 4 and then you switched and went back and did the 4 again. Which was fine because by then you hope they know it and you can go back and review it. So either way worked, but all the trouble to make 8 buckets is a lot of
I
work.
have a 9th bucket that I have never made. It was like 1
You've got 4.
Yes,
Paint
you
them
got
out 3 times. 3 times, every 3 months you get a new bucket. You got it. Actually, you do a bucket a month and then you just do it again. You do it again. Yeah, so you got a lot of stuff. You got a lot of good stuff.
And then if you're doing it again, like she said, then you've got a new child that comes in. It's new to them,
And they don't remember it after 4
and they don't remember it. No,
They'll just say,
no.
oh, something new again.
yeah.
And they do like new stuff. Most kids
Oh, yeah.
sponges.
They
You
do.
take something out and you show them at the circle and they're like, and they're almost fighting each other. You need the shell first.
Yeah. They really do like it.
They do. They love new stuff. I always let the helper be the first one up. That's my trick to keep everybody from fighting over who gets it. Who gets the new work first? The helper. They get to pick first. If they don't want it, that's fine. But they get to pick if they want the new work, I just show them. That way every day is a helper. Every day that's the kid who gets up first. You never the same kid twice. You don't get the same helper all the time.
Right.
It's always down the road alphabetically. And that way they
The
get
helper
turned.
always has to do flour.
Yes.
Keep it on the table.
Yes, they keep it on the table. So they get, and that's why they go, can I be the helper? Because they know they get for first, they get that, they get the first, they get the
I
last,
just
first.
had a rotation for helpers, so I could never keep up with it.
Yeah, I did alphabetically, I just alphabetically.
Yeah.
Who's helper today? And they'll say, who's supposed to look, and then I think, okay, who comes after that one? Okay, this is the kid's helper today, and they get to sit first, they get to do things first. It keeps them from biting.
And I don't know about at Waller, but here, the children do not get the bucket work.
No, we don't. No,
No.
ma'am. No, ma'am, that's just.
They don't get it on the shelf
No,
to play
ma'am.
with.
No, not.
They get other work that's
Similar to it, right.
They can do themselves, but you teach them how to do it, and they can do that, but they don't ever touch the teacher. They know that. That's what they know that. That's what come up with something that the kids didn't touch it. Otherwise, you don't find it everywhere.
I know.
But you figure out your way that you do think of something. Different, everybody's different ways to do it.
If he was in here, he could have turned off the video for that.
Is it off? It's still going.
It's still going.
On the camera?
Like Waller.
It's red. They don't think it's recording. I think it's
Seems like
red.
the last two for sure. And the other thing that's
Green,
going on,
I'd say, yes, still on.
are probably gonna swim like she was saying.
I have to get it back from stuff.
Things come up with the next week.
No, I had a sheet we're gonna tie-dye, but then it got tie-dye, and then it all washed out again. I'm gonna get, Target has like these 90s inspired shower curtains. I'm just gonna grab those.
Your lemon cookies yesterday was awesome. I had one with milk last night for my snack before bed. It was so good.
They're Christmas cookies, and there's somebody asking them, and I was like, okay. But when I'm only making one cookie instead of like 17, I know that's easier.
Those were so yummy. I love them.
Probably in the closet in the gathering room. They loved them, everybody loved them, not just me, but everybody was like, people love.
Sounds good. I know, I was like, I need to grab one before I go, and I was gonna be there yesterday, and I didn't grab one, I was like, I know they're all gone.
They're gone.
Sad time.
Yeah, they're all done.
Aw, but you have the recipe, you can do some more.
I know, and like I said, like, I only get one type of cookie, and only make one batch, so it only took me 10 minutes.
There, those were
I
good.
really love them.
I do. I like lemon cake, hot lemon cookie, lemon bars, lemon
I love-
pie.
Anything lemon flavored, but
Very
nothing lemon scented.
Refreshing, the taste is very refreshing in the mouth.
All right. You're talking about lemon cookies, right?
Lemon cookies,
And
yeah.
what did I hear? I heard linen cookies. And I was thinking, what kind of cookies are those?
Lemon.
And I imagine that's what kids hear too. I
Yeah.
mean, they mishear what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When they misunderstand. The whole lunch is good.
Yeah, one year that I was sharing, I don't know what it is now, but the school kids on half and Disney being on half, I think, in the summer. And Brittany had a lemon scented wax melon, and it's like almost making me sick.
Some of those do make you sick. Even them, they'll say, "Ooh, I don't like this smell in the office," and they'll take it off because it's just.
I get lemon
I'm not a
scented
big
cleaners,
scent
I
person.
can't do them.
I don't like when it smells like cereal. That one, it shouldn't smell like cereal when you walk in. You know, like if
I like the baking
You smell
smells.
cereal, you walk in.
you know.
I like the baking smells. I like some of the fruity in the summer.
Like a tropical scent,
Yeah.
that's what I like in the
There
summer.
was a good mango papaya or something.
I like
good
that,
one.
I like stuff like that.
I get one at HEB, it's called Eau Noir.
I love
It's a little
jasmine
masculine,
smell and stuff like that, jasmine.
and I like the leathery,
I like the leather.
the leather, the
My daughter
suede.
likes the leather, I don't really care for those.
Scentsy,
I'd be a horse salad or something. That's full leather, you want horse salad.
Scentsy has vanilla spray.
Their
But
scents
it's-
are strong too.
It's one of the ones that they only do in the summer when they bring back my bar. And then when my sister was selling the Pink Beaver stuff, there was a vanilla barnwood thing, and I found about like 2 quarts of it, almost.
Is this one like seasonal?
Well, because they were discontinuing, and that was another one, let's bring back the retired stuff, and then my sister quit selling it. So I don't know anybody anymore. And then HEB has Rustic Ranch, I like it, smells leathery.
What are they doing for it, look at you, shelter, were they gonna tie that something, something?
We're supposed to, I don't know what
No, I'm not gonna tie that.
So what would you, I wouldn't know what to do for 90s.
kind of the same like
80s?
80s. I would
It's
say.
not too much different.
Yeah, it's a little different thing.
80s, you think leg warmers and bright colors. 90s, I was already out of school and working at daycare. So I would think teacher dresses, remember the teacher jumpers?
Jumpers, yeah, don't have those
Hair,
anymore.
maybe, like
Daycare was 80s.
big hair.
We used to wear denim jumpers and vests. That was like the teacher clothes.
Oh, the 90s, they wore the
Shoulder
shoulder
pads,
pads.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to sew and I would make a vest
The
for
big
every
earring.
season.
Yeah. So I'm thinking,
We didn't do an 80s week here. I kind of wanted a decade,
I bet
like
everybody's
where you
wearing
could choose your own,
tie-dye shirts.
because I have an authentic,
She could be tie-dye? Y'all don't seem to have any buttons.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of like-
No, I mean, I don't do buttons. I get gas and ice at Buc-ee's, I don't buy
Buc-ee's
anything. No, I'm not Buc-ee's, I do gas and ice, that's it, I don't even shop in
I used to get my milk and eggs there because it was cheaper than
Oh,
ours.
yeah, that's not anymore,
Okay,
not anymore.
and I
It's
got,
going down.
Is it?
I'll go by
so
every
eggs
aisle.
went down.
Yeah, in the
I bought an 18 pack of eggs the other day for under $2.
Yes.
And a year ago, that would have been about $15
I went
for
to
18 pack.
Kroger's, I know Kroger's, also I can get cheap gas, and their eggs are like $1.49 for 18 eggs. I mean, big time they went down. They were all before, but I didn't buy eggs back then. I'm not hard with that eggs. I'm not gonna be baking for a while, because I can't afford this. This is ridiculous.
But I found the
They're like
cookies.
gold in my house, but you buy eggs, and you know, big things. Alan's allergic to eggs anyway, so they would make eggs because I could only bake them, she couldn't have them. To try to avoid her cooking.
I went into Bucky's one day and the bottle of wine, it was a cherry Moscato. It's really good. It's Oliver is the brand.
I didn't even buy mine, but
It wasn't that expensive.
I just was
They're
thinking one.
They're
Beer
very
is a beer.
You would think it would be more,
cheap,
but
too.
it's
It's not.
not.
Gatorade is expensive at Bucky's.
Yeah, it just depends
The
what
beer
certain
and wine are
stuff
not.
it is cheap.
But they're also, a lot of their snack feeds, they're going to their brand and phasing out.
And the actual brand is cheaper because
Is it?
it's either you buy the Bucky's brand, which is expensive, and then the other brand, which is still the good brand, is less.
That's why I always got gas and ice there, even the ice is not up.
I don't think my dad's ever walked into the store, and, I mean, he lives in Walton. It's been their house over 10 years.
I've been there like 10 times over the
I
time.
think, I was,
Been there.
back when Justin was playing soccer, I do like the gift
I
shop.
don't like Bucky's.
Buying it.
I recognize the cup, I'm like, I've seen it somewhere, but I couldn't see the logo.
And it had a red lid. I got a huge, like, in
Like a
February.
gallon jug thing you supposed to bring to work with for every cup. And I said, why don't you bring to work? It's too big. Well, then what's it sitting in my house for? It's kind of in the way.
John gave you a Bucky's, like, real cooler.
Yes, he did. And
Yeah.
you like it inside?
Yeah.
I got a good with Bucky's. I actually have something from Bucky's. And her son got me something for teacher.
John picked it out.
I was like, I don't shop at Bucky's. And I go, Bucky's thing. You're right.
I did that one year at Christmas week, when they did White Elephant. And we had the kids sit stairs, and that's what I did. I got the little cooler and a blanket and beaver nuggets and the animal crackers.
Fudge. Oh, yes, and their fudge.
The fudge, yes.
It's expensive, but yes. Just a little bitty piece of their fudge was plenty. Like, you couldn't eat a whole lot of it.
And they have
Very
a
rich.
salted caramel Rice Krispie treat, which is really good
I've
too.
never had that.
And I can't eat that all at the same time.
Then we get the sample pack of the fudge, it'd be like $25.
I've
I've
never
never
really
done
had
that.
their
Put
snacks
it
that
that
much.
way, all the different flavors that they had, and they were like a little square of each. And you take a little piece off each one. I love their fudge. Their fudge and their nuggets. That's one thing I do like their fudge. But I didn't go buy them. Other people would have them in their house, and then I would eat them. But I wouldn't go buy them. And I don't like the breakfast food.
I don't like the breakfast.
Their sausage is too spicy. We would go get it, we'd go somewhere and she'd go out of town and I'm like, we couldn't eat it. It was like too hot. Everybody was complaining that it was too spicy. I'm like, why did we get this from Bucky's? You know that. You go to Jack in the Box. You go to
The only breakfast I like there is the Danishes. They have a cream cheese Danish, they have a colored cherry and an apple. So I don't know if it would be considered a Danish or a true kolache.
It's probably more than that, I'm sure it wasn't like it was. Just didn't like their sausage with their, I like the bread part, we put the sausage in there, because it's too hot. You know, all the kids always bring them, what was it, Braylon? Every morning she comes in with
Yes.
breakfast and Bucky's.
That's like
Every
$5.
morning, I'm like, girl, you provide breakfast, why did your mom spend all this money on Bucky's?
And I didn't like their breakfast tacos.
She would bring stuff like that, so with Olivia,
They get them like they do.
Yeah.
And they try to make something like you.
see, it's just.
I don't like when you get a potato taco with potato bites. I don't like that. And so,
Kind of fakeish.
Yeah. I'm just not a big.
Whataburger or Burger King one, I got one.
I hear you're gonna be teaching over here.
But I can't find a good breakfast taco that's like ranchito. With a good tortilla. And I was in town in the morning, and I went and.
So what grade history are you doing?
I don't have time.
So I'm doing
Yeah.
world history,
I got Natalie one day, got
sixth grade history,
Uh-huh.
and then American. Well, for eighth graders, I don't know which history it is exactly.
But they're gonna be doing it this year.
Yeah, this one doesn't say on the,
Yeah.
junior high ones don't say.
Right.
It's not open yet.
Which is a good plan.
Yes.
Was built, that's not, and then they got stuff inside of there now, like.
Okay, no, it's going in there.
Okay.
Look at the glass, but you can buy some stuff in there.
So it's gonna go eventually.
The big village next to it said something about higher.
Eventually that's gonna go to Dollar Tree.
Studios, way
But you
back.
can't go there now.
Always
He's
got
putting,
so
he's
good.
got a group of people coming to stop and eat, got pockets, and I'm trying to get all this stuff that
I
belongs
could
in my room.
smell it. You could smell
In
it.
your room.
In this
I
corner.
love the smell of the onions.
Everything else, yeah.
Smell the onions, and then you go in there and it's
Yeah.
like,
So that it won't be,
doesn't even go back, but it's
so
always
hard for
hot.
them when they come here to get stuff that's not mine.
Jerry and I went there one day
So
and met Mr. Grady.
clean my room,
It was after stuff.
That's the way it goes.
It was, yes, it was.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I think
Not
it
as fine as the original one.
was right now getting history.
vocab.
I give
and
them a little bit of time to get their groove and figure out how to make
We
them.
could use that communally.
It was not good. It's pretty in there.
The money orders and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Which
Which will be the $1 in.
See, I used to really like that.
So what has Miss Collins told you about teaching history?
Not much yet.
Like,
Did,
I
uh,
go to Toledo with my aunts, when I meet my dad.
And so it's just like doing the handbooks, doing handbooks.
Boring
See,
stuff.
Yeah, we're doing the boring.
It's not like that.
That's not
Lesson
it.
plan, which I did because I taught science last year, but
And the
unofficially,
Las
officially.
Vegas and Magnolia is not as good
I
as
worked in the preschool office.
mine. We've gone a few times.
I thought somebody was.
I got the,
And then
well, I
this
haven't been there.
It's been a while. We used to go there for.
Oh, you taught fifth and sixth science. So you know about marking the answers to the book, the questions in the book.
well, you just went to the store because the book for this one, it said she bought me a new book for this one because we didn't, she said she couldn't find one.
Oh my,
And 'cause
that's
it's been a
not
while since-
necessarily good.
I know. But she just ordered me one new teacher book. But the way they have it formatted now is the book is and then there's stuff on it. So I just went and found actually underline without messing up the entire.
Yeah.
Because it's even smaller.
Because it was like you went through thinking the food was good, it was bad.
And sometimes the stuff in the margins is not useful.
He said it was terrible.
I'd rather have a real book that you can see.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll be able to see it, but then we're not.
I hit the mango market. And then if I drink a second one, I
I'm
get
gonna have
to
to
share it. Because I really
studying in slides and
They're not gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it for homework.
I'm gonna pull up some
I don't like
topics
that.
and
never
slides
did the drink.
for notes. They can take notes. You can discuss it. You can
Yeah, so they have 23 flavors.
so like
Hit her. I never first. We went and there's like $2 special or something.
you know, like it'll be like
I'll try one, 'cause I'm not a big. I don't really like mango, but it was so good.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's my
price.
problem. They only have the 2
You
years.
like
So
mango,
like actually I can
but that was.
have a little more time.
Yeah.
But I'm also
I don't think you can take it to go anywhere. You could during COVID.
I saw that
Oh
during
my God.
COVID.
You can
And you don't have a lot of
They
kids that
they
eat the
put it in a
plant.
bag with a seal, or they put a seal over the straw
That's
spout.
not many.
6 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I took a drink.
Each class will be broken down. Vocab will all be together. But
Even 13 is not a bad number.
no.
That would be, the kindergarten would love 13.
Yeah, they
They put a
I
seal on
know.
it.
Maybe there's 3 of them.
That's the best thing come out.
Yeah, but,
To go to
Yeah, they have
drinks.
those,
but
they have those happy
it
hours.
doesn't change the desk space, it doesn't change the room space.
But now you go get 2 hours.
Try that one, the one you're talking
Yeah,
One
it's,
day by that Target on Tuesday.
it's just hard. I mean, and sure, some days somebody's gonna be absent, but you can't count on that. Everybody has to have their own place, here or not.
Like that, I was driving.
Well, I
Oh,
because I'm like, I know,
when does school actually start?
because you're really gonna let it
That's one of the reasons.
August the 15th?
I know it's called, where you
Because we're hearing about how good Liz Expertise is. But it would be.
It's very
I would about 40-minute drive.
expensive.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, extreme.
Oh my.
I got a funny story about that too. Let's go take her to this.
And in addition to which, you have so many other days that are not good for anything.
That's why I saw you want to buy them.
You know, you used to have 180 days of school.
So
What
who else
happened?
are we coaching from those other schools?
15 days difference, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, we need to
Huge.
the junior high side of the list.
We're sitting here and I'm ordering some salsa and Aubrey thought she needed to cook. Get a big old chip. Take all that sauce and cream it with really spicy.
Yeah.
Don't do the, she did it and it's like when you eat it, taste it.
She'll handle it.
And she started crushing tears. She goes, I need milk. I need water. And Chris and I were rolling. She was so mad because we were laughing. But you don't take such a big bite. She goes, I'm okay.
Oh, we're not back yet, are we?
I think it's
It
supposed to
was
be a
so
while.
hard. She was so mad. And then so laughing at her. We just cried.
It's
like
like
"Get
a
us some milk."
follow-up.
In the kitchen, get us some milk. Get
It's
us
a
some milk.
follow-up visit from
That's
the
all
incident.
you got.
Oh,
You have a
You don't
burning.
expect for it to be that spicy.
Well, I knew it was gonna be, we told her not to do it. She thought she was gonna be cool. It's just salsa. I'm like, okay. She learned her lesson. She did a good thing.
It was Troy used to get, because he was, and they would grill Serranos in with it, and they would bring it out on that hot plate. And it's usually simple, and he's smoking. We smoked out 3 rooms. Like, they were taking babies out of the room. And I got it.
That was very spicy.
And I was already had a cough, and I told him, when your food gets here, I'm gonna have to get up. One lady was videoing it. But we were kind of in the middle room, and there's chicken everything. And the manager probably came to pick his plate. I said, we don't put food on the plate. Like, on a cold plate. And they walked the people and they worked. But they call him Mr. Spicy. The waiters thought it was funny.
I mentioned the parents and it was cute.
I know, I
Coffee.
felt bad, I mean, but then I was looking on the Magnolia Gossip page trying to find that video. Could never find it. And,
But usually what happens is when I make sauce at home, we gotta open the door.
Yeah.
Everybody.
You like it spicy?
I don't do spicy, I don't do Mexican spicy, I like Cajun spicy a little bit.
My mom used to always say, my mom. Heavy red pepper, not cayenne pepper, red pepper.
What's the difference?
I don't know, but my mother, and being her family and all of it was from Louisiana, she would never use cayenne pepper, she couldn't stand it.
thought it was
Red
the same
pepper,
thing.
and black pepper, and white, no, they're different. And I don't know what it is, but my mother never put cayenne pepper, she hated cayenne pepper. Oh, Mom. She liked white, she couldn't digest things well with her stomach, so she always got white pepper, so it was black, the red pepper, not cayenne pepper. She insisted on that.
I had
Well, I
one,
never had cayenne pepper in my wife's cabinet, because she always, no, okay. So I've never done cayenne pepper, I've always been red.
I had one recipe that called for white pepper.
She didn't know just the white pepper better than black pepper, but no, just her stomach, for some conditioner for that. So she would use hot pepper so black. But yeah, I remember that. And there is a difference between cayenne and red. I don't know what it is, it's what it is. Does it have smoky flavor to it or something? I don't know. She was a big old paprika eater.
So paprika is smoked something else, right?
Yeah.
It's not its own thing.
No,
Is it smoked cayenne?
I don't know. She didn't Google it. I don't know. But you know, my mother never used cayenne pepper. She would tell my brother, go cook, and save me that cayenne, that red pepper. Use cayenne pepper. You think it was that?
She didn't know the difference.
She knew
Okay,
the
so difference. It says cayenne pepper is another name for the same type of product. Some manufacturers use the term cayenne pepper to refer to a hotter version of red pepper.
And that's what it was. And that's what it was. But she likes spicy food, but not hot spicy. Like you want flavor of spicy, but not like burn your. The trick in our family is if your nose isn't running and you're done eating your gumbo, it's not spicy enough. Your nose has to start running while you're eating, then you know it's just right. That's how we know we've got enough seasoning. That was her excuse. A little more, so you start eating your nose goes strip, then you don't have that. Okay? Yeah, but not so much that you're like, I can't. Like we never did that, ever. This was amazing, so. She was amazing. And her mom, her mother said, you know, her mother, I think because anybody would say, her mother, she was doing all by herself. My mother was amazing. I still think they're good.
Okay, this says brown red pepper is a generic name that can have cayenne, but will also include other red chilies as part of the
That's
dish.
what it is, the chili. Red pepper's just great.
Because if I get red pepper flakes, it's called that, it's not called cayenne flakes.
Right, it's red pepper, and you can have red pepper flakes or the other version. We always use the other version whenever we do flakes. I'll do the flakes in like one, and put that in my garden. I'll put the flakes in my garden, keep the dogs from digging and the cats from going. Seriously, that's how I kept my dogs living in my garden. Because they don't like the smell, and then we get out of the garden and just not mess.
This is boring.
Well, you can take a nap, right?
Says all of
Yeah, it's just we have to do a training back. It's like.
it. I'll say it's gonna be hours.
I would say it would be an hour too. Cause if they just got here when she came and told them, they stay an hour at least.
At least.
At
the
least.
very
At
And I'm
least.
thinking that maybe part of why Stella wasn't here yet. If they've already been here.
I think she was grabbing her something.
Oh, she was in here.
She was here.
That's right.
Yeah, she was
That's
here.
right.
She had chicken nuggets.
But they said, because Lopez is in my room, they said she knows what we want to say. I wasn't here when the incident happened, so.
Oh, I know.
The child got left out.
Oh, I do.
I can see that happening.
It has happened, I mean, it happened.
Right.
An appearance on it.
Yeah.
That's the bad
That
part.
doesn't always.
But we reported it, so. I had one, and I told her dad, and he said, she's okay.
They hide sometimes.
They do.
Sometimes they do it on purpose.
Groups, I mean,
And I was counting them as they were coming out, and I guess she stopped. I closed the door, and I could hear her laugh. It was not Chloe.
Even Cody Ford runs away.
Yeah.
Chloe is too scared of being left. Now Claire, when you have Claire, look at Claire.
Okay.
Chloe is too afraid that somebody's going to leave her or forget about her, so she will be like,
I
I'm
can see that.
right here, hello, please don't leave me.
I did do that.
I mean, she was very nervous about the trip. That's
And
why I told her my
played,
phone number
then,
and
yeah, she played some, and then like when they were all
She
getting
stayed really
out of that
close to you?
big thing, not really. Once the girls realized
Okay,
we could
good.
play together, but she didn't want to get under that big thing with the rest of them, and she was I don't want to get wet. And so I went and found one of the small ones. I said, okay, let's wait for this one to pop up, and then she was playing with
Yeah,
that
she
thing.
likes
So,
all my good
and today she wanted her snack, and we're trying to stop the donuts. So they told me the donut is not healthy, they have to save it. And I could see her on there. I said, well, we have snacks here, it's crackers and peppers, and you can take them home. But then she had the trick cereal or something today.
Oh, that was her breakfast.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not real tricks because we don't do dyed foods.
Okay.
But it's like the Aldi tricks. It's got
Okay.
like dyed with beet juice and stuff.
oh,
Yeah, I don't let my kids to any artificial dyes
okay,
from that on. Just it, well, Clara's allergic to red dye.
okay,
So then it's just easier to take that out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she probably wanted her cereal. I'll say, because I packed her like veggie straws for snacks. So.
oh, she didn't tell me that, I probably would let her have that. I,
She only
last
wants
year,
what she wants.
I know, last year, when it was snack time, half the class had brought something. And it was such an ordeal to go get them, and then when we switched and moved, and it kind of eased up, and then like the last couple of weeks, it was, some of the boards were starting to bring them again. And somebody said, well, we can tell them they can't clean them. I don't know how to word it. And I know if they're allergic to what we're serving, they can bring their own, but if they don't like what we're having, I don't want them to go hungry.
You just gotta word it like,
Yeah.
here's some appropriate snacks
Yes.
to send in, you know,
And
veggie
because-
chips, but
because
not chocolate donuts
Determining
or
what's
Skittles
healthy
or.
is very judgmental.
It's true, yeah. I think that you have to give a list of options.
Yeah, because like, a lot of people think fruit snacks are healthy, but the first ingredient is corn syrup.
Yeah.
And it's better than the donuts, probably, but
It's like, you should go shop at Aldi. Get them healthy fruits.
I've never been there. I used to get the Ocean Spray fruit snacks, and they were really good. They probably had the corn syrup too, but they were very soft and juicy, but I can't find them anymore.
Maybe it's a concept.
I don't know, where's the closest one?
Halfway down.
I'll say there's
2920
one, yeah,
for-
there's one on 2920 in Kirkendall, but I don't go to that one. I go,
Okay.
I'm over like, I live right at like North Point, like 99 and 249, like right there, in like
Okay.
Boudreaux area.
Okay.
And then there's one, like in the Vintage Park.
Oh, okay.
So that's,
I'm in
but that's-
Magnolia.
yeah, you're,
so, like old Magnolia.
but there's one coming to Magnolia.
The new Magnolia one?
Yeah.
Okay. I might try it.
I like it.
I
The
like
only,
the new HEB, it's 7 minutes from my house.
the only thing confusing is the,
The wrong way.
No, that was,
McDowell.
well, I thought that was somebody's.
See, I knew
oh, it
somebody's
was
name.
the Swears.
Oh, okay. So she's over here,
A little bit.
but, so, my sister said she shopped it. That's one where you have to go to Porter and, like,
And you have to bring your own bags.
what they call it?
For here, not close at all. Yeah, no.
So is there one on 290 there?
Oh, yeah,
This area?
it's 290 and, I don't know what it's called, but. It's like,
Or 29, maybe in that area? Or,
There's one over there on
Okay.
529 and Highway 6.
Or-
There's one over there by the,
or maybe
there's one at like,
Ridgeland area, where that new Kroger is. It's not there anymore.
there's one close-ish to 290 and 99 too, where there's like, it starts all those like fast food restaurants right there. There's
an Aldi? I didn't know that.
I was like, I didn't know.
Mhm.
Where is it?
It's,
Is it the 99?
Like by the new Olive Garden?
Huh. I didn't know it was all over there. There's an HEB and there's a Kroger. I didn't know there was all over there. But I know that it's got good prices on like meat and
Oh, yeah.
produce and whatnot, like and their bread and like their bakery stuff and just their off-brand stuff and stuff.
oh, maybe it's coming.
Oh, so it's not
Okay.
there yet.
No, it's not there yet.
Okay, I'll say,
That's what
I shop in that area and I've been.
Well, cause, so we're at 99 in Telge.
I'm at
area.
99 and 290.
Okay, yeah, so
I live
I'm,
right there.
I'm at 99 in Telge, so a lot of times my husband and I will be like, do we wanna go that way on 99 and go shopping in Cypress, or do we wanna go into town, do we wanna go, like, where do we wanna go? But,
And
No,
so
I
you were,
I like it, I like Aldi a lot.
we are pretty much equal from Tomball to New Magnolia.
Okay.
We don't like the Tomball HEB.
Oh, I hate the Tomball.
But if I'm leaving work and just picking up one or two, I can do it. But the new HEB, it's like 7 miles from my house. It's like 10 minutes. And I love it. And even if it's just more than just a few things, I'll go over there. I'll catch 149.
Yeah.
And it's not that far away. The only thing is, if you go at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna be sitting in traffic on 1488 forever.
Yep.
So I have to kind of weigh my options on that. But I do like that new HEB.
We finally finished the road with, anybody go to the Nickel Song, they finished
The
finally.
one right there by town? Yeah.
Finally finished, cause I used
About
to,
when school ended.
really, cause
Of course.
right when school was still open, that's when they were doing all that
Yes.
mess, and I
And
would
everybody
get
was
stuck
complaining.
in all that rutted road going all the way to Magnolia, like, I don't go that way, so now I come from Tomball to go around, and now I can cut through again, you're saying, because they finished
Yeah,
it.
they finished it.
Cause I didn't wanna chance it and then be stuck in that rutted road again, cause it was awful, like, they didn't warn you, you all of a sudden you're in this
Everybody should be
rutted
coming
road.
back shortly, we
Okay.
got 0 deficiencies, everything is good. Y'all can return to your normal stuff. Mom was freaking out because Miss Carter from CLC
Oh,
was
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's just fine, like, that's not a thing. I already talked to Mike something about it, they said people do that all the time, and so they just looked up Children's Learning Center, they looked up, so she's background checked through them. They said if they're here a lot of the time, if that's a normal thing for them to go back and forth to keep 2 copies of their files,
Right.
but if it's just a onesie, twosies, you don't even have to worry about that.
That's cool.
I was like, yeah, like,
Yeah, it was just while we were training. Cover the
yeah,
classes.
exactly. I was like, when we're teacher training next week, like PTAC or
Follow-up?
yeah, let's follow up.
And there's,
Wow.
Yeah, so she just went through all the classrooms, made sure everybody knew their council in their room. So
And I was sitting here for a few minutes. Kingston left, did I sign it?
It might take a while because it's just now starting. I figured the rest of the training time.
So the Rising Star, you met with them yesterday, right? And I'm supposed to come see, I know you mentioned something, but I was talking to your mom when you were saying something about, are we supposed to all come talk to you about that?
yes,
Okay.
and I also need to talk to my 4-year-old teachers, and everything too, and give them evaluations, like according from kindergarten testing and their progress report, and kind of just follow up with how their kiddos and how their students did last year, how they learned from it, blah, 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 blah. And everybody who got observed, and then I was also tying a little bonus to those who got observed, because they did a great job, which was everybody.
I was very nervous.
No, you did a wonderful
Because
job.
I don't know the Rising Star.
You don't even know the things. Yeah, so I'll go over every metric that they judged you in
Okay.
and how many points you got. You did fabulous, you did great. But if you know what you're being judged on, then, you know, sometimes that can help to relieve some anxiety too, to know the metrics. But, there's a few things that I need to fix specifically.
Everybody else say that.
Yeah, on your teacher classroom checklist, so that we even during the summertime, so we stay, because every year our annual certification is gonna come in the summertime when all of my shelves and things, and I don't have lesson plans, because they're just doing summer calendar and. So then I got some docs for that, but I know how to
Most
fix
of all the
it.
shows weren't in the hallways anymore, like the last time I was here, they were on Saturday, they were all in, I was like, can't make.
They were racks and floors.
Oh, I was
Coming
wondering
out
why they
of
were
the
out
car.
and about, I was like, oh, like I figured they were getting the show
Because
ready.
that's what I thought when I was walking down the
Yeah,
hall and I
All the
got
shelves
to
that are
my
getting ready
room.
are out in this hallway, so.
Right.
I got to my
We
room
got
to
over
get
that,
a drink, and my fridge was in the hall, unplugged. I think the only thing I had to throw away was cheese. The whole time that she observed me, we were getting ready for swim and at the pool. And I don't talk to them a lot while they're at swim lessons because they need to be listening.
Right.
And then she came in with us and they started changing and I've got 15 naked butts and she finally said, I'm just stepping off.
It's probably a good idea considering you're not used to it.
Yeah.
Stranger danger, all that
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
So, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I'll go over those. I leave in just a little bit, I'm going to the airport. We have a family reunion this weekend. I fly back on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is PTAC, and then I have really one work day. So it probably won't happen, it's not gonna happen this week, it's not gonna happen next week. But the week after PTAC, then I plan on putting everybody on my calendar to go over the results.
I'm
So-
off that week, but
Oh, you are?
I was supposed to be off this week because the scholar was training in here. I said, if I'm gonna be helping her, I need to be with her and see what
Yeah.
she's being trained on. I
Yes.
said- And they said I could take that week off,
Okay.
so.
And
I
we'll
didn't
find
have
some time. It's just a
yeah.
one-on-one. It's not like it depends on anybody else. I might be able to even squeeze you in Friday after PTAC, or maybe even one of the afternoons after PTAC. It shouldn't take that long to go over it. But anyway, we'll find some time to go.
Yes, I can start over. All right, guys, we're about to learn orange sounds. In orange sounds, this is Little Lady. And Little Lady is outside with her ball. And if you notice, Little Lady comes first while she's holding her ball. And when she bounces her ball, she say, buh, buh, buh. Can you say it? Buh, buh, buh. Very good. And Little Lady comes first, and then it's her ball. Who comes first? Little Lady. And she's holding her ball. Let's look down at the bottom. We have another Little Lady. This is a small one, but it still looks the same, right? The lady comes first, and then she's holding her ball. And when she bounces her ball, what does it say? Buh, buh, buh. And Little Lady has a sister, and it's another Little Lady right next to her. It's the same thing. The lady comes first, and then she's holding her ball. When she bounces her ball, it says, buh, buh, buh. What comes first? The Little Lady. And what is she holding? Her ball. Little Lady was walking in the woods, and one day she saw a big wolf. Can you see the wolf? Here is the wolf's head and his legs and his body and his other legs and tail. So here is the wolf and his legs, and it goes up here. And Little Lady ran in the forest, and she saw a wolf, and she, sorry guys, I'm tired.
Doing great.
Yes. He's tried to scare. That's it. Yeah. And she was frightened. And when she saw the wolf, she could not say wolf, so she said woof. Sorry. Woof. 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 Can you say woof? Woof. Woof. Down here is the same thing. We have another wolf that was frightened. That frightened the little lady, and the sound that it makes says woof, woof, woof. And here's another one. What sound does the wolf make? Woof, woof, woof. Sorry. Mr. V was a friend of Little Lady. Little Lady is pretty popular. He wants to give her a Valentine, but he's afraid. He's a little shy. So he hands her the envelope, and when he hands her the envelope, he says, because he's a little shy, he says, Can you say, Here is the Valentine, and it says, Down here is another. What sound does it make? How about you hold your finger right here? You should feel something. And feel it. Let's say it together. Do you feel a little tremble? Yes. Here, let's say it again. Here is Mother made Little Lady a cookie girl with a big grinning mouth and a sleepy eye. Her mouth is open. So here's her sleepy eye. Her mouth is open. She pretends she can't hear when you ask her name. She says, eh. eh. She says, eh, eh. Can you say it? Eh, eh. Like an older person who cannot hear will say, might say. Can you say it? Eh, eh. Down here we have another one. What sound does it make? Eh, eh. One more time. This sound is eh, eh. You can't? Is it the way I'm holding it?
No.
Oh,
It's a little lady.
okay. Okay. Little lady was on her way to school. She had her school bag with her. She saw how bad Coughing Donut felt and stopped to hand him a handkerchief. She makes the sound as a coughing donut. Don't worry which letter sounds like it. Here's the little lady. Handing Coughing Donut a handkerchief. So here's the little lady. This is where I'm a little confused. I can't really see what this is.
It looks like a desk.
I think it's her other leg.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is this? It looks like it should. This is a lady right here by itself, but right here you can't really tell what this is.
I thought it was like a
Yeah.
bag that she was pulling it down.
Yeah.
Cause see, that's what I would just say a Kleenex, but I wanted to make sure I say it right. Yeah, cause I could never tell what this is.
Yeah, I
Yeah. All right, so this is the little lady handing her handkerchief over to the Coughing Donut, and it says, can you say it? Here's another one. The little lady and handing off her handkerchief, and it says, all right. Sorry guys, I do way better than that. I'm just a little overwhelmed today.
You had a busy,
Yes, with a lot going on.
a very busy day today.
I'll be better tomorrow. I know I'm so tired.
So I'm gonna see, and when I'm doing this one right
Mhm.
here, I tell them that you can't bounce a ball. She's bouncing her ball and it has to be in front of you. Can you bounce a ball behind you?
Mhm.
No, you've got to have the ball in
In
front of you to bounce. And when she bounces it, it says, buh, buh, buh. And see how much better this looks when you're close?
Yeah.
So it could be that when you're first showing these, if you can see the difference between far.
Okay, I never could.
Now you can see the wolf.
Yeah, now you can. Before I was like, I couldn't
But
see
you
where-
couldn't see a wolf from where you were. So
That's
the
a little
first day,
bit
you might want to walk and show them all the pictures up close.
Yeah, because I'm telling you,
And then after you show them the picture, you can talk about it.
I'm so
I know the
confused
sound.
on this page.
Here
What
still
is
has
it?
the microphone.
No, I know what the sound is. What is the picture?
This little lady,
holding him a handkerchief.
and she's got her school bag in one hand.
I always tell her that little lady is right.
She's carrying her, what do kids carry? Do they?
Bring a school back to me.
Okay, they carry their school bag in one hand, and with her other hand, she's handing him a Kleenex.
And I thought
It says school bag on
It says school bag.
Yeah, school bag. So, but it never looks like a school bag.
Like they don't know backpack.
Right.
I've never
And that's
done
what
this.
probably I'm looking for, a bag. Like a school bag.
Well, just say backpack.
Grocery
You
bag.
can carry your backpack.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't carry it on your back, you carry it in your hand. So that's what I would say, is a tissue, but whatever you call Kleenexes,
That's what, yeah. When I looked at it really good just now, it does look like it's a rolling bag. 'Cause I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make up my own.
And that's okay too.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. I'm like the K and the W, I usually make up my own.
Whatever makes sense.
Yes.
Whatever works.
so she's handing him a handkerchief, or she's handing him a Kleenex to stop him from coughing, and so she's saying, just like he's coughing, and said, She wants him to stop, so she helps him to stop. And the wolf, is hard to see too unless you're up close. Because all you really have are his front feet and his back feet and where his head is. And the tail doesn't make much sense because this is not hanging down like the tail is. But if you're looking at it close the first time or two, then you could see. And they have the talking letters on the shelves. So they can see them up close when they're on the shelf. But the first time you're doing it, I think I would walk right around the class and let them see it. In fact, I would probably start like, this is Cookie Boy. Is it Cookie Boy? Cookie Girl. This is Cookie Girl. And Mother made Cookie Girl, and here's her head, and here's her mouth right here. You can see her mouth is open, and here's her eye up here. So then you walk by and let them see as you're talking. Can you see? Here's her open mouth, and here's the head up here with her eye. Now let's see what Cookie Girl does. So you've told them and they've seen it. Now they can use their imagination when you're telling the story to them. Because it is hard to see. I mean, even Little Lady and the Ball, look how much better it is when you're looking at it close.
Yeah.
Now you can actually see her. You can see the ball. You can see.
Her holding the ball.
Right.
I see it.
And she's bouncing the ball, and it says buh, 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 whenever time it hits the ground. So we've all learned something today. We learned you need to show them the pictures. And it helps when you're the student because then you see how they see when they're there. And they're saying, because a lot of times when you show them pictures, they're saying, what is that? It's because it's so little. And they're far away. If they were sitting right here, it'd be different. Okay, now we're going to do, what is this? Memory. And depending on the age of the children, if they're the very young threes, you might start with only 2 pictures or 2 objects. If they're a little older, you start with 3. But you're working toward more and more. So I'm starting with 3 here. And because I wanted to show you how you can change it to do something else, I made these special objects. Here we have a piece of pizza. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it is a piece of pizza. This is a tomato. You eat a tomato, don't you? And they'll all tell, well, I like tomatoes, I don't like tomatoes. Just ignore it and keep right on going. And here is a hot dog, and it's even got a little mustard on it. All right, let's name our pictures. We have pizza, tomato, hot dog. What do we have? Pizza, tomato, hot dog. All right, close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm going to take away one. Open your eyes. What did I take away? What's wrong? What's gone?
Tomato.
You're right. It is a tomato. All right, let's say them again. Pizza, tomato, hot dog. Close your eyes. All right, open your eyes. What's missing?
The hot dog.
Can you see I switched the order? I switched the order. All right, you're right. It's the hot dog. One more time, I'm going to try to trick you. Close your eyes. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. What's missing?
Tomato.
And now I put them vertically. You can, if they still need to keep them to start with in order, you can take them away in order. But to make it harder, you mix them up. You change places. You put them vertically. You say, okay, now close your eyes. Close your eyes. All right, I'm mixing all these up. I'm mixing them up. All right, let's see if you can tell me something. What is one of them? One of them is the tomato. And another one could be hot dog. And what's the last one?
Pizza.
Pizza. You got it. You have to sort of a little plan here. So you can do it with 3. You can do it, this one has real objects. You can do it with real objects. You can take it away. You can cover it up. You can put a card in front of it while you do it. I mean, there's so much you can do with this. Here is 5 when you get ready for 5. But as you're doing it, you need to always tell them the name of what it is you're putting out. This is a shoe. Here is a cap, a flower, a watch, and a present. Now, let's say all the names. So they're actually doing it here. Shoe, cap, flower, watch, present. One more time. Shoe, cap, flower, watch, present. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. All right, open your eyes. What's missing?
Watch.
That's probably an answer. And of course, they don't all know it, but some people will get what's missing. It's easier. I mean, when you get 5, that's a lot of things. A lot of things. If they get to where they can get it, take away 2. And then at the end, you can see if you can take them all away and see if they can tell you. Whatever they tell you, you put down. All right, Ms. Cook, what's one object?
Pizza. No, I'm just kidding. It's the flower. She told me to, I'm really working to go have my phone
Flower. Ms. Peavy, another one.
Watch.
Got it. Ms. Scala, another one.
Present.
Got it. Ms. Cabrera, another one.
It was watch. No. I'm not joking. I'm so exhausted. I don't know.
All right. Got it. And the last one, Ms. Vila.
Shoe.
You got it. Wow. Do you see how much harder it is as you go?
One of them looks like a bunny, a pink bunny.
It's not easy to do. And especially when you're asking them to remember, as you ask somebody to remember 1, that's easy. But boy, when you get to the 4th and the 5th one, because your mind is full of what they've said and not what was down here. And all of this is building memory skills. So you can do it with 3, you can do it, I mean, there's like 5, 4, and 3. I have a 3 set, a 4 set. And with this 3 set, I could also say, these 3 are the same in some way. How are they the same?
They're food.
They're all things you eat. They're all food.
They all have red on them.
So you can use it 2 ways. Here's another group. I had to make these groups, so they did this. How are these the same?
What are those? They're all cards. They're all toys.
They're all toys. We have crayons, ball, airplane, tricycle. So you can use them for memory, and most of the time they have to be memory, but occasionally you could pick them where they're memory and classification or something else. Could all be read.
The ones you have on the game show, that would be memory, matching the thing, like turning them over and finding the.
That's a different way to do the memory cards.
Go.
So the memory cards in the key buckets are just one.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm saying the ones that's on the game show, would that be considered memory too? Yeah.
Well,
right.
I mean, they're more of finding same. They have to remember which
Okay,
one is
which
where.
one? Yeah.
So that's for
It's
two.
kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now that's a fan favorite in the classroom, so
Good.
yeah, that's
They
a,
need
that's
that-
a
they need
fan
that
favorite.
practice.
Yeah.
So do you ever like lay 4 out and say them 2 or 3 times and then cover them all up where they remember the order?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do that and
But it's also important that you can take away one in the
I
middle
do that too.
or 2 or whatever and see if they can get it. And here are the real objects. See how much better more fun this would be? But you don't always have real objects. But could you use any objects in the classroom? You could use anything. You could work with a child with whatever they have at their desk, and you can, if they're having trouble with memory. So you could just use what they're doing, object boxes, get 3 objects, put them out, and play with them for a minute or 2 to see if they can remember which one you take away.
I played the game memory with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole thing, I did that. It was one-on-one, I played the card. So fun.
Because you can find it with so many different characters now.
You know, Ryan loves memory too. Like at home, we got the whole like thing with memory too. And he'll sit there forever with me and try to find even the bigger kids, like my 11-year-old and my 8-year-old have gotten in on it too.
Okay, but not only is there memory like this, there's the memory that I told you about saying numbers to them. That's a different memory. That's a hearing only memory. This one is visual memory. And the 2 things are not the same ability. One child could remember what they see, another child could remember what they hear, and then there's those of us that can't remember what they see or hear. So you're trying to, you know, to work with both groups of children. So it's seeing and hearing. And that's why when you put the cards down, you're also saying the name of them so they can not only see the picture, but also hear what it is, the 2 things at the same time. Okay, so those are the 2 memory. And then the next group here is position words. And I got the small cards, so because this is a lot of what you have in your bucket. All right. Can you see there's a chicken on this one? Let's start with a different one.
I can see
Here's
the
a chicken. Here's the chicken, and here is a haystack. And do they know what a haystack is?
No.
Not a clue. Sometimes if they live somewhere, they may have seen bales of hay in the field, those big round bales. But this was a long time ago when they made a haystack. It's like grass that's been cut and piled up. And so here's a haystack, and here is the chicken. The chicken is next to the haystack. Where is the chicken? The chicken is next to the haystack. Let's say it. The chicken is next to the haystack. Here's another chicken, and there's a tree. Where is the chicken? The chicken is behind the tree. So here is the card. Now the card is behind me. The chicken is behind the tree. Here's a chicken, and he's going on the ladder. But which way is he going? He's going up. He's going up the ladder. This chicken is by the fence, and the chicken is on the fence. He's sitting right on top of the fence. Here's the chicken. When look, she's got baby chicks behind her. And the chicken is in front of the baby chicks. Where is the mother? The mother is in front of the baby chicks. Now the chicken is on a bridge. Where is she? She's walking over the bridge. Over the bridge. And now the chicken is under the bridge. First she's over, and now she's under. First the card is over the chair, and now it is under the chair. And here's a chicken and a log. It's got a hole all the way through it, and the chicken walked through the log. What did the chicken do? Walked through the log. Now let's see if we can do these. The chicken is next to the haystack. The chicken is behind the tree. The chicken is up the ladder. The chicken is on the fence. The chicken is in front of the chicks. The chicken is over the bridge. The chicken is under the bridge. The chicken is going through the log. And if you have not enough time, stop. Otherwise, I'd mix them up and put them in a different order and say, this is going to trick you. You're not going to know this now, I bet. You won't remember it. Where is the chicken? Going through the log. The chicken is in front of the chicks. The chicken is up the ladder. The chicken is on the fence. The chicken is over the bridge. The chicken is behind the tree. The chicken is next to the haystack. The chicken is under the bridge.
They brought ice cream for everybody.
We won't turn it down.
I think you better serve her first. I think she's more
Oh, we're going to 5 today, right? We're going to 5 today. And I said, we're outside on our field trip, and it just worked smooth out. And I don't want to. I'm not kidding you. I could put a nap mat in the middle and keep teaching, and I would fall straight asleep. I feel so groggy.
Something in this room makes my eyes water.
Maybe ice cream will wake us up.
Yeah.
Didn't wake me up. Also, this pets are adorable. I know. Yeah, she just had like the whole little
I only have one. You don't want me to steal it?
Can't lose it.
Does, ma'am.
Once we get the shelves put together, then I can run it up and start maybe containers. And I can start. I would love to do the bucket.
And then highlight it to a binder for all your handouts.
Off that shelf. I did have one. I thought. We have a few minutes. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Just how much you love coffee.
So all these letters and all these words are together. This is an L and a T, and it's not an L and a T together. It's an L here with a space.
Oh, yeah.
So is that okay, or we should be like everything else on the page?
It should be, but you could say, oh, there's not one. I mean,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then same thing here. If I can't find one that's exactly, this one seems like it'll just have an extra one.
Yeah.
So, and then, thank you so much.
And then that was not right.
And that one doesn't match anything because it doesn't have that extra one in it. And then, so that one kind of, I like that. So nothing matches there either.
That's interesting. So there you go. Well, there's one on each page. That would be a challenge, wouldn't it? I mean, I could go home and fix it. But in a way, that would be. Because then they'd have to really pay attention to, is it really there or not?
They tell me not to have an event.
Well, then don't mark anything.
I want some cherries.
Like a zero. How many?
Uh-huh.
Just cherries.
So I'll try to fix it, but I still think that's not a bad plan.
I said just cherries.
He said I want that cherry.
Yeah, so that one is.
They went scalper.
Yeah. We weren't even in the sun like that,
No, I
girl.
looked at it, it's red.
It's not.
Yeah, it is, look.
That's why I said for her to get it all
I
done.
washed my hair last night and it's like, hot. I don't know why it's sunburned, but that's not.
You give it to me.
She stole it first, don't even know.
I know you do.
It was like, I want mashed potatoes with gummy bears.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I was driving.
See, it says car. I know where this pencil belongs.
There you go. I like that.
Oh, there's some sets, I'll make $2. That way I can match
How do you just skip me?
that one on one of those ice traps. 2 cars.
You should have already done that.
And I did that.
Vanilla. What can we put on it?
We have chocolate,
M&M's.
cherries, cream.
Right.
Cherries and cherries and a little whipped cream.
Right, but if it's laminated,
Not as laminated.
That's what I'm saying.
You did have one limited set already in there.
Yes. Yes, that was you.
Okay, so that's all right.
Yes, yes.
They love doing these.
That's all I have regular cherry.
And these are very good for the 2-year-olds because they love this Disney stuff.
Thank you guys.
And then I had the
I was trying to get Adam to smuggle me one in, McDowell.
like a thought.
Works a lot better.
For the 3-year-olds. That's if I do this year. I might just do one. This is the harder one.
Which one do you want?
The harder one to read for the 4-year-olds. You have the pattern.
I was outside and my son was like, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. And so I walked around and he was like jumping on the pavilion, like Colton. He was like, I haven't seen you all
Thank
day
you.
today. Come give me a hug.
You said cookie, right? And whipped cream.
And David, you brought your own ice chest, huh?
I did. I like ice.
Me too. I eat ice.
And eating ice and finding ice around here is very
It's very
difficult.
rare. It's like,
It took me-
it's like Virgo.
It took me like 20 minutes yesterday to get ice out of the thing.
No, it's just the 3-year-olds.
Doesn't that how about the boys were like,
I was
Miss Davis, you're about to drip on this side. I think, right there.
So I still have work on that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's talk for a question for you. So when you do, you're gonna do all the shelf stuff. So that's like, I don't have to like,
So what
what do I need to do?
you need to familiarize yourself with the shelf and what's on it. And what goes in each bucket, and then how to do the thing. Ms. Gilbert's gonna go over how to teach you certain work tomorrow, and
Actually, it is like a wicked.
you can usually,
Yeah, it's I did something.
relate that to the three. Not, some of it's similar, it's not the same.
Okay.
You like, I ran if you did me, I did
I don't
right.
know.
Okay.
So I've been eating some breakfast.
Yeah, and then,
So I think that's what the rest of the month.
so make sure you understand the work, how to do it, what's on it, what goes
And
together.
then
And then make sure
I tried to order some
clusters are, happen,
It's just some black
clusters happen.
Oh, we people can steal stuff.
I think I should put the fine shelf.
We'll,
I need to
they
change
see things
my
and
card
they
order.
like,
They want to take them, yeah.
Change my
or
card
they
order.
put it in their pocket because they want to feel it in their pocket, they just like have
And
their
then
hands
that card
on
was.
it.
My thing with the 3-year-olds is I'm always worried about putting them in their mouth.
So we have to really emphasize that
And then,
they,
she wanted to ice cream. I was like, okay,
Ours is that you have balls in your mouth. That
this might be enough
that's
just to get off.
That's my child, you know.
Because I was about to pay $20 for guacamole chips and
I had a 4-year-old. I had a 4-year-old who put a we put one of those little black safety for the
It's okay, but it's not.
So expensive.
Thank you guys.
Five.
Thank you,
He
girls.
has this thing
You're
called-
welcome.
he does a lot.
You guys are like the
It's
fun police.
Thank
In
you
a
so
good
much.
way.
It was little material, but small
Everybody's gonna
pieces
have
to
fun.
build with, and like a whole person size, and most like one of them, she was five.
This is the cutest little
Yeah,
house.
good, good, back.
You know those little jewels from that?
It really makes it like, this was a thought out plan, not like we threw this together because we saw this was out.
So, like, you know how they did like the Bible, or they did the self-portrait or whatever? Well, a lot of the kids in the Eagles and the Dolphins, they had all these little jewel things everywhere. And literally I found a couple of kids were just like, had it in their mouth. These are 5, 6 year olds. And I'm just like, what is that? And I'm like, give it in your mouth.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
She said she already has it to him.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm afraid of. It's just 3-year-olds. I mean, Marcus, when he was that age, I had to take him to the emergency room because he swallowed a wrapper with a, what do you call it, a Hershey Kiss. Yeah, Jared Hershey.
I didn't get a cup.
You better go before you get out the building.
Hurry, go. Still making some for the teacher that was next door.
It really does not look like any of the boys.
No.
No, you sit there.
I'll look at it. What do you
Look
want?
at her little neck string.
What kind do you want? Tell me.
Go get mine.
Look at it.
Would you like any? No need to answer my question. Look at it. Ice cream.
It's important.
It is.
Your questions are more important than me getting ice cream.
Oh, you got it. I'll take another one. Okay. Thank you. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
Beverly. Miss B's baby?
Is that next grade or is she just
Is
in
there
that?
a tissue paper?
She's not on his arm, look.
Girl, she's literally on his arm.
Where it is?
Look. That's, no, that was trip, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Or it's not
I
rusty.
did that because.
There's a shadow in between. She's looking up.
So you're the director for the
Oh, not him
wall?
asleep.
That poor
You're
baby
not the
though.
director with the.
I'm telling you.
What she does.
I went past them to go drop off Addie yesterday, the day before, and they were all, it was 106 on my car thermometer, and they were fried by all forms of sweat. He's like, go get in the pool, everybody, go get in the pool. I'm like, let's go.
At this point, you can't really go out unless you run out between 6:30 in the morning and 7:30.
Even at 7 at night,
No,
it was still at 100, it was at 106 at 7 o'clock at night.
And the nighttime really don't even make sense.
No, it didn't cool
It
down.
don't cool down. At 10, it's not going on. We don't drop below 18 anymore. It's just don't, right?
That's when we get down to 79 and we'll come
Whoa. That's unheard of. Go off the lessons.
Can you imagine the people in prison right now though, they don't have AC?
They have.
That's, no, they don't.
We've been this
I have people on the inside. They don't have AC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
No.
Yeah, Jalen,
No Texas.
the one that Jalen works at, he's in heat all day.
So even the workers.
The only,
They have to suffer too.
the only time they have AC is in hesitation.
Yeah.
That's the only time that inmates
Yeah,
get
inside
AC.
whatever.
I was gonna say, there's a lot.
Corey goes and works on compressors in fire retardant, so he's long sleeves inside the building, next to a machine putting off heat.
I got my catch on fire just being on his clothes.
He gets home and he's just got, he can feel the salt on his skin from making that wet.
But Christian's eyes get real red because he's an addict. And his salt, like from his sweat, irritates his eyes. That's why he gets skinny in the summertime and fat in the winter.
Yeah, and he's in, Jalen works in immigration, so like ISIS. So it's like maximum security. So they really don't make it comfortable. Them are the employees.
They would have a good back room.
Like if he wanna bring food in, he has to put it, he has to take everything out of it. He can't bring no wrappers. Like, so if I make like chicken rice, he has to put it in a Ziploc bag. It's not
Or
a
he
plate
gets
or-
searched also when he comes in
And
work.
every single day, and his car goes through a search every single day.
Well, I mean, that's probably good.
Yeah.
And you bring, like, whenever I went to
Money
Smack,
was in the morning.
they were walking out like they were just switching
Was
shifts.
Lily in the afternoon?
And there were people walking out, like one place were clear.
Well, no, and with immigration, you can't, it has to be in a gallon Ziploc bag.
Just
Well, then
like,
they
yeah.
lunch, and they like, never.
They were,
Or you
they
got
had
the
me
other
issued
guy.
by the jail because they were
My
listening
son
to
works for, and I never got.
Okay.
Oh, it's you're up. Into that one.
They're napping or they're sleeping, off and they're get up.
Okay.
But he works with men, in, like an equipment supervisor, so when they go to work,
Well,
he
yeah,
has to
but
pass
that
out
was
the
a-
things,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
they get back
yeah,
up on the back to the
different.
He can't
They
leave
He can't leave.
until they
No,
don't
no.
miss
That's how Janet.
Trash people need to empty this waste
If
basket
a
today.
spoon is missing, a knife is missing, anything is missing, it is on him. He has
They
to-
probably don't
he has
come to
be
this
there count
building.
every
so.
single, everything before
No,
you
that's,
can. Yeah.
They don't come
It's
in.
weird. I say kid, I'm like 23, I just don't know how you do it.
I mean, imagine someone just
It's
like.
too full. And if we add tomorrow to it,
I'd be like, wait, it uses 270, one or two. I mean, like today, when the kids are talking, like, oh my gosh, I messed up my count, let's go all the way back.
The worst is when they know you're counting, because like I don't know about you guys, but I was public school kid, so when I pee count, we always clapped our hands or did this, and so now I don't want to look like an idiot whenever I'm counting, so I click my teeth and I just have to have like the beat to keep my count. Anyway, so I was going through and I'm like, I'm gonna make it. And like 4 of them kind of, they're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, you can see me going down the line. I'm gonna help you guys fly right now.
Well, mine was like, Finn was trying to buckle it, and he's like, excuse me, I was like, you really make out up every time you
Yeah, because
move.
you're so
Like,
monitoring, you're just like, ugh, how many kids around?
and so I'm like, I was at
Hey, baby,
32,
that's
let
one
me
of
go
my
back.
That's one of my favorites.
I was counting one time we did a hula hoop.
yeah, I liked it too.
I like that
School
one.
kids. And I'm counting and they're all talking, I'm going, 28, 29, 30, 31, shut up, 30, 30. I said, I'm sorry I said that, but I had to stay with you.
Trying to count, they move your count up, yeah.
One time I shocked myself, and I meant to say, oh shoot. I said, oh, and then the kid said, did you say oh? And I was like, no, I said shoot. And then I was like, no, I didn't. I said, and I was like, and then all the class was like, you said shoot. And I was like, shut up, fucking. Just stop talking. Didn't mean to electrocute myself.
Okay, so keep eating and we're gonna go ahead and go over the next thing. All right, next we're on to, forgot what this is called. General numbers or something.
That's called math terms.
Math terms, yeah, math terms. And it has nothing to do with numbers. These are things that add ER or EST to words. So we have this, whatever this is, toast maybe. Toast and jelly is hot, but the coffee is hotter. And this bacon and eggs cooking is the hottest. So we have hot, hotter, hottest. But the opposite of hot is cold. So this salad with lettuce and tomatoes, it is cold. But the cold drink is colder. But ice cream is the coldest. Cold, colder, coldest. This puppy dog is, that's not what I would do. Had to think here a minute. This puppy dog is sad, isn't he? He's very sad. But this dog is sadder, and this one is the saddest. So we have sad, sadder, saddest.
Would you recommend talking about the pictures and why they're sad?
Occasionally, but you can't spend too much time talking about it because you got so much to get through.
Okay.
So if you think it's something that they won't understand,
The way, like the cold one,
mhm,
if we can go back to that one.
I think that's this one.
Yeah. Just to kind of give this talking up, because I do agree with you, just give it a little bit more.
Yeah, this one you might say was
so
in
I
the,
say a salad is cold,
but the drink is colder than the salad.
Because it has
But
ice in it.
Yeah, and then I would say the ice cream is colder than the drink because the ice cream is frozen. So
Right.
it kind of gives a little bit more, but not like an extra, too much extra.
Yeah, you're trying to say cold, and this
Yeah.
is colder, but this is the coldest. But if you only have two things, you have cold and colder.
Yeah,
But when you have three, you have cold, colder, coldest.
yeah.
And this one then, back to where we were. Happy, we're ready for happy. This dog is happy. He's got his food dish right here. He's happy. But this dog is happier. He's going for a walk. And this dog is the happiest because he's getting petting. So we have happy, happier, happiest.
I wonder if whenever you're doing that to avoid having to talk about like spend more time, I feel like because I like that it ends on like a happy note. But if you started with happier, if you did happier, happiest first, then when you got to sad, then you would know why he was sad. Because like that middle one, I didn't know why he was sadder. But then whenever I saw the boy going on for a walk with him, then I realized it was a leash about him.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
I thought, yeah, he was lonely.
Yeah, I was like,
He's sad.
maybe he's just fine. Maybe he's in a.
Well, this one is a little hard.
But if you go on the other side, then it's the opposite of all of those. So if you started with happier, then they would see what was missing almost.
Oh, yeah,
So it's
he
kind of
would.
like a, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe just end it with, I'm sure his owner will come back soon. Keep going.
Yeah, and this one is really hard to see.
Yeah,
He's
'cause-
sad because his food dish is empty.
But then the middle one, I didn't know if that was like a broom or like a little.
I think it's his leash.
Yeah.
He wants to go out for a walk, but he's sadder because he doesn't have anything to eat and he can't go for a walk. And now he's the saddest of all because his friend, his boy, is leaving him alone.
Yeah,
So sad, sadder, saddest.
How did the dog die? So.
That's what I thought, that's why it was on the wall.
I thought it was a picture of the
I thought it was like, dog with their
Now he's super sad, but he's in heaven, so technically he's happiest.
I thought we were talking about the boy being the saddest.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
No, it's the dog because he's in the window. Well, you can't see it from where you are. I mean, at first I thought, is that a ghost in the window?
Now he's so sad, he's turned to stalking.
I mean, because it doesn't, you know, it's so fuzzy looking from through the window. That's what I thought when I first looked at it.
That's the curtain at the top. And
I
you
thought it was
see
like a
it from the
poster of it.
outside.
Yeah, that's what, so I thought it was a picture.
It looks like a cloud kind of a thing, it's very.
Like he's outside.
Was the boy is outside and the
Yeah,
dog
he's
is
outside.
inside looking
Yeah.
through the window.
That's what
Right.
it said, it's
But you're
outside.
also much closer than we are, with
Yeah.
no glare.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I wanted to.
And imagine the glare with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to remember that laminated things are nice for making them last, but there is a definite glare depending on which way you're holding it. Can you tell the difference as I'm moving it?
Yes.
Whether you,
Now I can see the window.
it just depends on how you're holding it, whether there's a glare. And if there's not glare here, there might be glare on this side.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have those.
So a lot of things are good for saving, they're not good
Yeah.
for looking. All right, and then they have one more here. This is a small dog, isn't it? He's not very big, but this dog is smaller, and this dog is the smallest. Boy, this one is so little, he could almost sit in your hand. We have small, smaller, smallest. But sometimes people don't want a small dog, do they? They want a dog that is big. So here is a big dog, but this is a bigger dog and the biggest dog. I bet this dog is bigger than the boy is. Big, bigger, biggest. And if you have time, then you can go small, smaller, smallest, and go through them all again. All right, that's math terms. I'm trying to keep them in the right thing here so the bucket stays in order. Next, we have sequencing. These are very old cards. I was very familiar with these cards. The other set of cards in there, I was like, wow, these are a lot harder. All right, but these are the easy cards. This is a plant. You see the ground growing down here? Here's the plant, and it's got buds. Like these are like little flowers. When they open and grow some more, you'll have flowers. So first you have the plant growing in the ground. Then what happens? It grows some more and the flowers bloom. So the plant grows, the flowers bloom, and then what do people do after that? They cut the flowers and put them in a vase. And here's the flower bush outside, and here's the flowers in the house. So this way, if you were telling this story, you would say, first they planted the flowers, and they grew, and they made the flowers, and then they picked them and put them in the vase. Tell the story with me. The flowers were growing outside, the flowers bloomed, and they picked them and put them in the vase.
That definitely helps the children whose story. They don't know how to tell it.
They don't know how to tell a story, not in order.
Yeah, but it also teaches them to tell you what happened. Like if they got hurt, like before.
That's what I'm talking about, telling the story. Okay, 'cause, you know, sometimes they just tell you that and later.
Okay, here's another story. We don't do this, but some places people do. See these boys and girls right here? They're going to school, and this sign says it's a school bus stop. So they're waiting for a bus, a big car-like thing, to come and take them to school. Most of you come to school in a car, but these children are going to ride on a bus. So they have to stand and wait for the bus to come. So they're waiting for the bus to come, and then here's the bus. It's often the yellow bus that takes them to school. And do you see the boys and girls standing in line to get on the bus? You have to climb up the steps to get on the bus. And then when they're on the bus, they sit down and ride to school. So let's tell our story. First they wait for the bus, then they get on the bus, then they sit down and ride to school. Tell it with me. They wait for the bus, they get on the bus, they sit down and ride to school. Okay? Where we live, you don't go ice skating very much because it's not cold here in the wintertime. But some places that people live, instead of a lake with a lot of water in it, they have ice on the lake, and you can actually skate. You put on special shoes to skate with, and these are called ice skates. And that's what they've got right down here. Here's this little boy putting on his skates. Well, if you're going to skate, how many feet do you have? You have 2. So would you need a skate on each foot? Yes, you would. So here he is, he's putting on a skate and he's tying it up. You have to tie it to make it stay on. And the other skate's waiting for him to do it. So first he puts on one ice skate. Now what will he do next? he'll get the other skate and put it on his other foot. Now he's got on 2 skates. And what will he do now? He's gonna go ice skating. He's got them on his feet and now he's skating on the ice. This is very hard to do. A lot of people fall down when they're learning how to do this. But once you know how, it's fun. Let's tell the story of the boy going skating. First, he puts on one shoe. Next, he puts on the other shoe. And last, he goes skating. Tell the story again. First, he puts on one shoe. Then he puts on the next shoe. And last, he goes skating. Good. We told the story about skating. Here are some children that want something to eat, and guess where they're going? They're going to an ice cream shop. Wow! And here they are. Here's the door. Do you see the door? And it says open. That means they can go in. So they're at the door and they're going to open the door and go in. So first they open the door and go in. The next thing they had to do you know what they're doing here? They're looking to see in this book what kind of ice cream they want. It's called a menu. They're looking at the menu to see what kind of ice cream they want. Sometimes it's hard to decide. And then they get their ice cream. Let's tell the ice cream story. First they open the door, then they decide on their ice cream, and then they get their ice cream cone. Let's tell it again. First they open the door, then they decide on their ice cream, and then they get their ice cream. And you could say choose or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter the exact words, you're just trying to get them to tell you the story. If I had enough time, I'd have a child tell it. But you know how time goes. It's very slim, and there's a lot of these cards. Here's somebody that wants to watch television. Now, this is an old television, isn't
They're
it?
not gonna know what that is.
It's worse if they do these clothes.
Yeah, because these are very old cards. So this is an old television. They used to look like this. Our TVs don't look like this anymore, do they? And somebody could say, well, my great-grandma has one.
My dad still has one.
So she's walking over to the TV. But before you can watch something on TV, what do you have to do? Turn it on. So what's she doing? Turning it on. She's turning her TV on.
But I got the remote.
Yeah.
Never mind. They didn't have remotes.
And after she turns the TV on, then she can watch the TV. So let's tell our TV story. First, she decides to watch TV. Then she turns the TV on. Then she sits down and watches it. So first, she walks to the TV. She turns it on and sits and watches it. Now, in most neighborhoods, this doesn't happen anymore, just in a few neighborhoods, but this is the way it used to be. Do you see this mailman right here? He carries the letters to people's houses. A lot of times now, this is a mailbox where they put the letters on the house, but now a lot of people have them out on the road, and they just drive in their car. But this time, the mailman has to walk to every house and put the letters in their box. So here's the mailman walking up to the house. He walks to the house, and then he puts the letters in the mailbox. And then the lady opens the door and gets the mail out. Well, it's a child. Looks like a child. To a little child, it'll look like a lady. So let's tell our mail story. The mailman walks to the door. He puts the mail in the mailbox, and then the lady opens the door and gets the mail out. Or you could say letters or whatever.
Amazon guy, but yeah, definitely did that.
Well, the Amazon guy does come to your door most of the time, not always. This one was a big envelope. Now, just to show you how different these cards are, and they're much smaller. Can you see? Can you even tell what he's doing?
No idea.
Not really, can you?
It's like playing a game.
Oh.
Maybe Lincoln. What is it?
Lincoln Logs.
Looks like Legos.
That's why the card
Oh, okay.
Can you see the difference? I mean,
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell exactly anything what you're about.
it's really even hard to see, you know, when you're just glancing at it because you're not expecting to see this. I wasn't expecting to see this. And especially I couldn't figure out what he's got in his hand. It looks like he put two of the things together that don't connect, so I couldn't figure that out. I just thought I'll let that go. So here he is. He's starting to build with his toys. You could just say that. He's going to build something with his toys. He gets started, and now you can't even see what he's done, can you?
We use our imagination.
Yeah, I know, but this is how the kids are. They can't see what's going on. He's got just a little bit of it built down here. Can you see that little bit?
Yeah, it doesn't look so messy.
Right. And then he gets it all built. Now you can see that's built. But these are hard to see. So first he gets ready to build, then he starts and builds a little, and then he finishes. And I'm just going to show you these so you can see them. Here she is starting to play with Play-Doh. She's making a little something in here, and then she gets her heart cut out. It's a heart shape. And this one, at least there's only 3 of these. This one, she's got a piece of construction paper. She's folding it and cutting it, and now she has paper dolls. She's really good if she can do that. And another way, after you've told the story, if you get to this the second time, you would say, all right, here are the pictures. What comes first? What would they do first? First, they would get their paper, then they would cut it out, and last they would have their paper dolls. So after you've told the story one time to them, then you do it again in 2 weeks, then you could have them tell you what would come first, what would come second. Because the whole idea is they're able to look at 3 pictures and be able to tell what comes first, what comes next, and what's the end of it. All right, what is next? I think this is categorizing, which I had never seen this before. This is very cute. I wasn't sure about the categories. And they have black felt to put down the different categories on. So we'll just mix them all up and take one out and see what we have. We have a roller skate, I think. So it doesn't matter where we put it, we'll just put it right there. There's our roller skate. All right, here is a hat. Does it go with a roller skate? Can you? I don't think so. Could, maybe. Here's a bathtub. I can't see that it goes with either one of those. All right. Here is a boot. Does it go with any of these?
It could go with the roller skate.
It could go with a roller skate.
Same color family, but
And they both go on your feet.
things you wear on your feet.
All right. Here is a skateboard.
Would you call it? Now I'm thinking
It
the
could go
roller
with the roller
skate and the
skate,
skateboard.
with wheels. So now, yeah, the skateboard have wheels, and it's like, could be like
I think
a,
that's really clean. The other shoes are clean. But the shoe and the hat could go together because it could be things that you wear.
Yeah.
It could be.
that's why you look for
And then the other one could be sports items.
All right. So for right now, we'll put it right there. All right. We've got glasses.
Okay.
With the cap, the accessories.
Yeah,
Things you wear.
I would say it's accessories.
All right. A sink.
The bathtub.
Oh, that's an easy one, right? You got that one right away. All right. Ice skate.
All right, that's gotta be sports. Put it with the skate and
skateboard.
the skateboards.
The skate and the skateboard.
Yeah.
And we'll put the shoe down
Second
here.
decision.
Okay. A hat.
Both of them.
Little shoe.
Goes with the shoe.
We'll get the
Goes
boot.
with the boot.
A flip flop.
Goes with the boot.
But the sunglasses and the visor and the flip flop could all be summer.
Things you wear to a beach. See what else?
I think this is a hat.
Yeah, it is.
It goes with the visor.
It's like a hats. Yeah.
A necklace.
With the sunglasses, if that's the accessories.
A helmet.
With the sports stuff. The sports stuff at the end.
I would say hat.
Or it could be the hat.
Goes on your head.
Yeah. I don't know. Because it's a hat, whether or not
I
it's
think
sports.
We'll put it in the, I don't know right here. All right, cap,
Yeah,
With the
hats.
hats.
shoe,
Shoes.
The boot.
ivory soap,
Bathtub. Are these rooms of your house though?
ring,
Accessories.
Accessories.
skateboard.
Sports.
I guess that's a skateboard. A pen, a little tiny foot. I think it's a shoe. A little tiny shoe. Toothpaste.
Bathtub.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where I would put it because it goes on your head.
I wouldn't. It's a roller skate because you know that. I think it's.
What's the difference between that?
It's supposed to be a clean.
I think that's a clean.
It's supposed to be on your feet. But a clean is sports stuff
When I do it,
too.
I do it as a shoe.
But then the
I would do it. That's where I put it was with the shoes.
That's how I do it.
But is there really a right and a wrong?
no.
It depends on what you think. Right.
Yeah, as long as you're thinking and you're categorizing.
But this is not as easy as you think.
No.
And even for us, this was not easy because you don't know what's coming next in here. What do you call these things you wear on your body? Are these shoes? Are they things that move? Are they sports things? I mean, you could, no doubt about the bathtub stuff. There was no doubt about that. And there's not much doubt that these are all shoes that go on your feet. But some of this other could go in more than one space. And this was such a strange category, I couldn't think of what to call all those things.
Stuff that doesn't belong.
I mean, it's not all jewelry because you got glasses in there. And they don't know what the word accessories is. Anyway, I thought this was very interesting.
Yeah, but like, look cute.
And if you were doing it, you might only take out and do 2 groups at a time.
Yeah.
And not have this group and this group, or not have this group and this group, and just have, 3 other groups that there was not much doubt about where they went.
So I was just thinking, so in kindergarten, one of our workbook pages, like the rainbow book, we need to look at like 4 pictures on the side, which 3 go together, and they have to tell me why. And it could be any number of reasons why, which ones match. So that's really good for working on that kind of justification.
Because you have to be able to tell why you put those things together. All right, so this was fun, wasn't it?
Miss Falconer, do you remember the work that I had to call you for? One of them had me stoked. It was in a school year. I was looking at it because I was like, I don't call her. I'm gonna figure it out. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I remember you asking me.
Yeah.
There was one that
I mean, it had me
was
stoked to where I was like, I cannot get this.
Yeah, yours was 3-part writing. I do remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, it took you a while for you to like, what are you?
I go through and be like, okay, what is this again?
I think that was it. It was a 3-part rhyming. It was a 3-part rhyming, and it was one that didn't.
Because
I think it was a bunch of stuff, but it was considered toys. I wouldn't have called it toys. I would have called it something else, and I think that's what it was.
Yeah, like a little girl.
There we go.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right there.
Remember that.
Yeah, I could not come up with that one.
Well, that one was a little hard for me when I did that one last night. It was like, I don't know where it goes with this or that. And as you went through and you found more things, you became more uncertain. Well, I guess there's going to be a shoe category. Well, maybe there's going to be a roller category.
Also, I put my shower head in last night. It's wonderful.
Great.
We had a whole talk about it. And I do feel the difference. Like my skin feels a little bit softer.
And the pressure is good?
And I liked my old shower head better, like the pressure. But I like this one is a little bit like easier to use, if that makes sense. Like the other one, it didn't have like instructions on like how to change the settings. This one is all very user friendly, and it comes with a hose and it all matches.
That's even better.
So it's pretty. I sent it to this one.
All right, let's do whatever this one is. 3 the same. This is 3 the same easy. So how are these 3? 3 of these things go together.
So the one that does not go is the flowers.
So the flower does not belong. So how are these 3 the same?
They belong to each with that to eat.
They all are things that you eat with. Or they're all things on the table. All right, here are 3 things. Here is a checkers. This is a bingo game. This is puzzle. This is a sewing box. So I wasn't sure they would know what all these things were. So you need to tell them what it is. All right, one of these things doesn't belong. Which one doesn't belong? The sewing box. You sew with this one, but do you sew with any of these? No. How are these 3 things the same?
Games.
They're all games. And I just let everybody answer. They all have an answer. And then I say, right, they're all games. They're all things we play with. Here are bananas, ribs. I think those are ribs. A cantaloupe and an apple. 3 of these things are the same, but one of them doesn't belong. What doesn't belong? Why doesn't it belong?
It's not a fruit.
And all these others are fruits. But all of these things are things we eat. We eat them all, but ribs are meat, and these are all fruits. Here's a bed, a table, a bat, and a chair. And I'll let them say them with me. I mean, these are not hard, are they? Bed, table, bat, chair. All right, which one does not belong?
Bat.
The bat. Why doesn't it belong?
Not furniture.
It's not furniture. These are all furniture, things we have in our house. What is the bat for?
Baseball.
It's for playing outside, right? You play outside with that. That's to play a game. Here are 4 people. Let's see which person doesn't belong. This one is a little tricky.
I was just telling her. I hate it.
Wow.
There's so many different answers.
There's so many different answers, right?
Because I always thought it's either the collars, they either have collars, or it's the
Short hair.
short hair. They all have short.
There's 3 elders, there's 3 women, there's 3 facing one way, I got
There's a lot. There's a lot of ways you can do it. So you say, which one doesn't belong?
I have no idea. I think it's really.
It
says it in the back top corner what it's supposed to really be. It's like written in cursive.
Well, is the second one a man or a woman?
One of them is clearly jumped.
No, I think there's 2 women.
The other ones are
When she first picked it up, I thought
It's
the one
supposed to
on
be
the left
old
was
and
Richard
young, I
Simmons,
think.
so.
3 are old.
I would say it was old and the others are
that's what I
young.
thought.
But it could be glasses and no glasses. It could be child and all adults. It could be short hair and long hair. So is there one answer that's the only answer? No, it depends on how you look at it. It's how you're grouping it. So if somebody tells you it's this lady because she has white hair, well, he doesn't have white hair, neither do they, but they don't all have black hair or dark hair either. So it's not her because she has white hair. It's her because she's older.
Well, they might look at it and think that that's a man because she does have short hair.
Well, they
And
might.
a lady.
So you would just say the
From here,
person.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
I'd say the person.
Every year they do different.
Yeah.
Different whatever they say, I'm like, okay, yeah.
As long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
As long as it makes sense, right? That was the last one. We've done all the rest of those. Those were the same that were the easy ones.
Yeah, some of them that have like 4.
Now, these are 3 the same, hard. So you got to tell them what it is because from where you're sitting, this looks like a potato,
Yeah, it does.
doesn't it?
It's not a potato?
What is it, cookie dough?
It's a sponge.
It's a sponge.
Oh, okay. I would definitely say it's
It's supposed to be clean and.
It's a sponge.
Oh, I thought the second one was like a soda.
It's like common.
And this is a cleaner like
Now let's see
Comet.
the whole thing.
That's the map of the United
And
States.
this is a map, and this is a bucket with a brush in it. So you would have to certainly tell them what these things are. Here is a sponge, like you clean the table with. Most of us don't use this kind of a sponge, though, do we? No, we use the square kind.
You see what?
If he does on practical.
Oh, that would be terrible. Don't teach them it's all food.
I said from back here, it's potato,
Different.
soda, map, and then that's chocolate with the graham cracker, and then that's their bucket, and then they go next yours, and it's all food. That's all I got.
They're gonna go home and be like, nope. Miss Taylor said this was food. Give me that comment. What are you keeping for me in there?
It's okay, I got Miss Hammond for a year. She's gonna make sure. She's gonna keep me on the street.
All right, so these are all things you clean with, but do you clean with a map? No. Okay, here we have a beehive. That's a home where bees live. This is an anthill, the place where ants live. This is a barn with a horse in it, because horses live in barns. And this is a feather that goes on a bird. Which thing doesn't belong? And it doesn't belong because all the others are homes for animals. This is a home for bees, a home for ants, and a home for horses.
Oh, you can also say they all pants.
You could. But where would a home for the feather be?
On the bird.
On the bird in the nest, yeah. All right, you know what this is? This is money. You use money to buy things at the store. So here is all different kinds of money. Which one doesn't belong?
The dollar.
Why doesn't it belong?
Because it's not a coin.
It's not,
Paper money.
And
or
it's not silver.
it's not round. It's not round. It's not silver. It is paper, and the others are metal. I mean, there's a lot of reasons because they're all money. So how do they all go together is their money. But all right, let's see what we have. A can of peas, a bottle of orange juice.
Ice cream?
Ice cream.
I think it is ice cream, and a ball of yarn. Which three things go together? Which three things do you think?
Peas, the orange
The
juice, the ice
peas?
cream.
Because why do they go together?
Because we put them in our mouth.
We all eat them. We are things we eat. Do we eat yarn? No. And here's our last one. This one might trick you. We have a watch, and you don't know what this is. This is a pin that people used to put in their hair to keep their hair from falling down. This is a safety pin. I know you've seen this. And these are knitting needle pins that you use to knit. At least I think they are. So which one doesn't belong?
The watch.
The watch. And why doesn't the watch belong?
Because it's not sharp.
And this one has a sharp point, doesn't it? If you open the safety pin, would it have a sharp point? Yes. And you can see the sharp point on this one. So these are all kinds of pins. They have a sharp point.
The metal, this is off the record, the metal thing, the pen thingy, that was, did they ever put them in their, like back in the day, did people put them in their scarves?
I don't
Was
think
there
so.
anything? My mom had one that was like this long, and whenever I was little, I just used it to like do the orchestra.
Oh, you know, you might say these three are all silver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because see, I was thinking that.
And this one is
You
gold.
have the pin out, so it's not as obvious. You would have to tell them that if you
Open it up.
So I was just trying to think of what's the obvious, like looking at it.
But then again, I mean, if that pin is for an accessory, then a safety pin, a pin, and a watch would all go on your body, and the nails wouldn't, unless you're Jesus.
I think these are knitting needles.
Oh, they're knitting needles?
Yeah. They still are not going to go on your body. They could be straight pins. They might be straight pins. They look a little long, but. Anyway, there's a lot more answers than one. And I just let the kids talk and have free time. Makes this fun. Much more fun than
Because
just
I tell you, sometimes they come up with things that you don't come
that you don't think of. Right. Right. All right. Well, we're not doing bad considering. Now we're down to this bucket, and it has odd things. And these are all odd things. So every bucket is going to have different, odd things. At least I would think they do. And I would suggest if you haven't looked at your odd things, you look at them before you teach them. Or otherwise, you may have it the wrong way. This one is showing you a part of a picture. And you have to try to figure out what the picture is from looking at that little part. Now, look what happens if I turn it around and put the hole at another part of it. Looks entirely different. So you have to be careful where you have it. When you see this part, you really can't tell what it is, can you? What if I put it on the side? Well, I don't know. This one is sort of square. Anyway, so, but I put it here because this is the most obvious place to put it. So you're not really expecting them to be able to guess unless it's obvious. And they're not going to be able to guess what this is. Let's see what this is. It is a pot. It's a pot that you cook on the stove with. What is this? This is a much easier one. Can you guess what this is? Everybody, you're right. It is a airplane. I haven't figured out how to do this so that they can see. All right. What do you think this one is? Can you tell? This looks like leaves, and this is orange, like a flower. It is a flower. Oh, this one is really tricky. Really tricky. See if you can figure out what this is. What do you see? A leg? You see a leg? Do you see some kind of feather stuff? What do you think it is? Could be a bird, right? A goose, a duck, an ostrich, some kind of a bird. What kind of a bird is that? I don't know.
Almost look like a penguin.
His pattern looks like there's like a white bird inside of the black. Does that make sense? Like a silhouette inside of the picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there's not. It's just this pattern. All right, this one I think you'll be able to get this one.
Dog.
Can you tell? It's a dog.
I'm really embarrassed. So confident.
Some are just harder to tell than others.
Is that a car?
It's like a Star Trek.
Anybody guess that hasn't had it in their
I've
bucket?
never had it in the bucket.
Yeah,
This one is very hard. I'm going to slide it to the side a little
Castle.
Oh, wow. I would never
You
guess
see
that.
where I would have gotten the car from?
bit.
It looks like a windshield.
yeah.
And if I'd have put the hole like this,
Yeah.
it's a little more of a clue.
I would have thought it was like a garage or something.
Car wash.
But the idea is not that they know, is that they're learning to see part of something and recognize a whole thing.
Getting their mind working.
Here's an easy one. Well, I'm going to make it tricky. I'm going to make this one tricky.
It is elephant. Repeat.
No, like a
Dinosaur.
gorilla.
All right, what if I made it easy?
Oh, it's an owl.
Cat.
Okay. Even my eyes is doing the trick.
Oh, wow.
But there's a difference in which way I was holding it, isn't it?
Yeah. What are the things on it? The little triangles. Spots.
His whiskers?
No, like all over his body. It looks like
Oh, it's
print
just the
on
lines,
it.
like his fur. All right, I'm doing this one the easy way.
A book.
See, this one is not so hard. It's the book. But if I turned it the other way well, this one is not hard either. You can still see the pages. Some of these are just easier than others. Now, because you have experience, you know, or are probably able to tell what this one
It's
is.
a clock. A grandfather clock.
But they may never have seen a grandfather clock.
Yeah.
If you turned it around where they could see the numbers on it, then you can tell more like it's a clock. It's a difference in where you're putting the hole. Now this one doesn't really give you much of a clue at all. It's yellow.
Is it a butter? It's butter. Is it butter?
No.
Cheese?
Could it be?
It looks
Could
or
be.
Bed, maybe? Adopted? It looks like, I can see the ripples. It looks like it's rectangular. A table.
I thought it was a bed when I saw it the first time.
Can you
But
see
it is
butter?
the table. Well, it could be butter.
It's
You
butter
know?
with legs.
Could you do this with any other picture that you have, not just these?
Well, we could do it with like their school pictures when they come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
that
who's
would be
this
cute.
one?
And just show them the step by step.
Only the logo. Who's this one? Banana.
Banana, that's an easy one.
I usually turn it around, like if they can't get it, I mess with them so they can do it.
The girl dancing or jump roping.
And sometimes I just slide it out so they can see the whole picture. And this one they probably have had not experience enough to know.
Is it a saw? Or a pen?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a rocket ship.
See, there's no way they're going to know that, is there? Not unless they just did it the week before.
Characters, Disney characters.
Yeah.
Now, you must admit that was an odd thing, not
Yeah.
something you're going to get. And when do you get it? Once during the month?
See, I would look forward to that though. Like,
And don't they? That's what I said. They look forward to all of these things
They're new.
because these are so different.
My class found out with the riddles. The riddles, even when the riddles was gone, they still want the riddles. I said the riddles is not every day, guys.
you're talking about the energy bars?
No, a riddle. Like, I am furry. I.
What am I?
What am I?
The spider one always.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
like,
8
they
minutes
love
in.
that one.
The 2-year-olds, so I got into the riddles because I was like, it's like it unlocks a part of your core memory that you forgot about, you know what I mean? And I did, and so I would make songs up with them. And so I can't even, like, the guppies would go, Jack, Spratt, could he go back? His wife could he go leave? And like, they would sing them with me. And they look forward to it. We would do that at pickup every day.
So this odd thing is called People Who Take Us Places. And there's only 4 pictures, and they're in order. There's a first one here that has what you're supposed to say in general about the whole thing. There's people that take us places, and sometimes you go different ways. If you come to school, how do you get here? In a car. If you go next door to see your neighbor, how do you get there? You walk. If you're going to go to a place really, 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 really far away, how do you get there? You might take an airplane. We walk to school, but you know, not everybody walks to school. Somebody rides a bus. And if you're going to be gone just not too long away, people take a train. And people have to drive it. You can't drive a car yourself, can you? No. Can you fly an airplane? No. If you're going to go on a boat, can you drive the boat? No.
What
So-
could we say to 12 vote? Because
Here it says it's a boat captain.
No, I'm saying, if you explain it to a kid, like distance, and where would you be going on a boat?
Maybe
What would
on
you
the
say?
ferry,
Like, I was gonna say ferry.
Or if you're going to the lake.
Going
It's not gonna
across
be a
the lake,
captain,
a cruise.
But if you're just going on a boat in the lake,
Because
your dad is the
reading
captain.
readiness has the train, right? Okay. Yeah.
like when you go on a trip.
Some of these
you
kids go on
And then it
cruises.
has like
As a
three
train.
other
Okay.
things.
And I was trying to think of something with a boat, what I can tell them where they can be.
Well, not many people,
Not people, yeah,
I mean, they go on a boat for fun if they go out in the lake.
yeah.
But they're not going on a boat unless it's a tour on a boat. Sometimes when you go to a place, I think we went to some Lake Livingston or not that far away, Lake Conroe or something we went to. They took us out on a tour of the lake on a boat.
Okay.
That was one time. I mean, and I went on a cruise one time. But most children are not going to go on a boat. That's the kind that they're talking about here. But here's the boat captain. He's got and he looks just like a lot of other people wearing uniforms. He doesn't look like anything special.
Yeah, pilot.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of kids say pilot with that outfit on.
yeah. He steers a boat or a ship that carries people across the water. He goes from one piece of land to another. And he uses a steering wheel like you have in a car. It's round and he has to use it to make the boat go wherever it is. Now on everyone, after they give you these facts, then they say, have you ever been in a boat? What was it like? Was the road smooth? We don't have time for everybody to tell us when they did not go on a boat or their time that their uncle took them out to the lake. And so I would skip the questions, especially like boat, that then nobody's going to have been on. I mean, we're not talking sixth graders who might have been on a boat. These are 3 and 4 year olds, or these are 4-year-olds. They're not going to have been on a boat, most likely. They haven't been on a train. Most of them have not been on a plane, and none of them have ridden on a bus. So they have not done these things. They have not experienced these things like other children might have done. If you lived in the city, you might take a city bus. But we don't have buses that come out here that take us to the city. Wish we did. It would be nice, but we don't. Here's a picture of a train engineer. He runs the train and he puts it on the railroad tracks. He wants to make sure it stays right where it's supposed to stay. And he lets other people know that he's coming by blowing his whistle. He has a loud whistle that he blows. And then come all the questions. This is an airplane pilot. Do you see him up in the sky? Can you see the sky around him? He flies high up in the sky. And he has a microphone that he sometimes talks to the people on land so he can tell them where he is or where he's going, or can ask any questions he needs to. A plane flies up where the clouds are, and where the pilot sits is a special place, and it's called a cockpit. It's in the very front of the plane. Here is the bus driver. This bus driver is taking children to school. We come to school in our car, but some children ride a bus. You have to sneeze more than once. Other bus drivers in places take people to work, or they take them to other towns. Sometimes they get on and off if they're getting on a bus. But we don't have any buses in Tomball except for the buses that take children to public schools. You may see one when you're riding down the road sometime. And here's the bus driver. You can see the yellow bus. He's got a steering wheel. He's waving out the windshield so he can see the people that's looking at him. And that's that one. It's just 4 pictures. That was much shorter than the other one.
Today we took a field trip with the yellow bus, and all the kids were smoking out, so we've never been on a real bus.
And now Colton and Ryan have done something Troy hasn't done.
They were
Troy's never been on a yellow bus.
We've never been on a real bus. I'm like, it's literally the same as there, because we both is smaller. Like, no. Yes.
I went to private school before I went to public school in 7th grade. I was so excited to ride that yellow bus.
tell about the start moving to school.
Because if you can start moving. I'm over it.
Oh, and these are very interesting.
I love those.
Very interesting. Not that they're going to know it. You're just showing them. And it depends on, you know, you might show them this first and show them the whole picture of what you're talking about. This is a cheetah, I think. This is a cheetah. He's a big animal, and he goes and can go live in trees too, and he walks on the ground. He does both. And if you got really close to him, we can't get close to a real cheetah, you know. He's not one you want to pet. But if you got close to him, this is what his fur would look like. Isn't that pretty? He has really pretty fur. This is a snake. I don't know what kind of snake it is. This is a python? Could be, I don't know. It's a snake that lives in the jungle. And he's not the kind that we have around here. We don't have snakes like this here, but in some places they do. This is a big snake, and he can live in trees, not on the ground. If you got really close to him, this is what his skin looks like. It's real pretty, isn't it? He has very pretty skin. It's got little bumps on him and colors. Oh, and this is one of my favorite animals. Look at this. This is a peacock. Peacocks are beautiful, aren't they? And look at his tail. Do you see how big his tail is? It's so big. Peacocks make an awful sound. The sound they make is not pretty. If you got really close to this peacock, you could see his feathers. Oh, they're so pretty. They would make a pretty dress, wouldn't they? Oh, here's another animal that I love. Kindergarten loves this animal. There's this panda. You can see a panda at the zoo. If you got close to this panda, his fur looks like this.
Go back. Let's get this. Let's get back. Let's get back.
And they never get the back on that one.
I mean, it looks like a cat's fur too.
Yeah.
Or a dog. Some kind of, fur.
That's what I would have said.
Black and white.
Yeah.
If you've been to the zoo, you might have seen this animal. This is a big turtle. But when the turtle is really big like this, sometimes you call him a tortoise. If you got really close, you could feel his skin. His skin is not soft. His skin and his shell is very hard. And even his skin is tough and rubbery like. Oh, I bet you know this one. This is a zebra. A zebra has black and white stripes. If you looked at his fur close up, it would look like this. Here is a frog. Look at the frog close up and you see this. It's green. We've had other green animals, haven't we? But this one is different. This frog is a little different color. Here is a giraffe, and his skin looks like this. It really makes a pretty pattern. You can see the brown and the white. They're not quite squares and they're not diamonds, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got a pentagon in his. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got a square, almost. Here is a tiger. A tiger is also a big animal that can growl. And close up, it looks like this. And here's our last animal. This is maybe the biggest one of all. If this elephant was in our room, how big would he be? Would he reach the ceiling? I bet he would. I bet he would reach the ceiling. If you were to feel him, look, his skin is bumpy looking. And if you feel it, you can't see it here, but he's got little hairs on it that make it stiff. Now, I'm going to see if we can remember any of these. This one is the cheetah, jaguar, whatever. This is the snake. This is the peacock. This is the panda. This is the turtle or tortoise. This is the zebra. They'll likely get that one. This is the frog. And they might think it was the snake because it's green. This is the giraffe. This is the tiger. And the last one is the elephant. So that was a long one. So when you look at your odd thing, you have to notice, is it going to be a long odd thing or a short odd thing? And it said there were 4 of them, but actually there were only these 3. That was all there was in here, was these 3. So if it's a week that you're scheduled to have 4, I would pick one to do again. Whichever one you want to do. And I think that's all the different things in the object boxes. I mean, in the teaching buckets. But the 3-year-old buckets are going to have different things in them. Because they're not working on this, they're working on vocabulary, 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 vocabulary. Because they have so much to learn. And not just to understand, but to be able to say. A lot of times they can understand it long before they can actually say it. They can show you before they can tell you what it is. All right, so we did fairly well for 4:30. Now we're ready for whatever was supposed to come after this. No, that's tomorrow, shelf work. I thought we would work on, and I wrote this on the board, and then I thought of this because there's so much that you can't cover in just what we're doing. And even though if you've been here a while, you know it, but if it's the first year, you won't know it. So when we were talking about how to work on counting to a number, you know, count to 4 and stop, count to 8 and stop, count to 3 and stop if you're working on that. No longer is it so cold in here. Or I got hot. So trying to make things as short as you can. Let's say you've been counting to 10 or 20 or whatever you are. Even if you're only counting to 10, that's as far as you've got. And it's the day that you're supposed to work on counting to a number and stopping, and you don't want to do anything particular, so you say, and it doesn't start with 0, it starts with 1 maybe. So you're going to just use what you've got already up here on the board, and you're going to say, all right, we're going to count to 4 and stop. What are we counting to? 4. We're going to stop where? 4. We're all going to stop on 4. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're listening because you don't make your voice stop. You don't make your pencil stop or whatever you're pointing. And the chances are 2/3 of the class are going to keep right on going. And I could hear you, some of you, you made your voice drop down when you got to 4. And if you make your voice drop down when you're counting, that's a clue for them. And then they know to stop. But if you don't do that, or you don't slow down, and you keep moving your finger, and it sounds like you're going on, you're going to have a lot of them that keep going on. So you say, what are we stopping on? 4. Okay, when we get to 4, we're going to stop. Let's try it again. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And if everybody did it, great. We all did it. Yay, we all stopped on 4. All right, this time we're going to count to 6. And we're going to stop on 6. What are we going to stop on? 6. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did it. We all stopped on 6. They won't.
I have a question. You know how we do just start and you were saying that we use the finger? Would this be a time when we use the finger, or is this something that we could, like, you can be like, okay, 6 or whatever?
No.
Or
You don't
we
want to
want
give them.
only listen.
No, you don't want to give them any clues. You want them, because they're in this rhythm, like singing a song. If I said sing the Star Spangled Banner and stop on the word dawns, once you start singing, it's hard to stop. And they're doing it, to them, counting is like a song that they memorized. They memorize that rhythm of doing it. And they memorize the speed that you go. So you might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, so vary the speed when you're doing count to a number. Or you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you're keeping on going and the speed is keeping on going, then the chances are they'll keep on going. And you're trying to get them to know when to stop, to hold that number in their head. And that's hard. They've lost the number by the time you started counting, then they forgot what you said to count to. And as they get better at it, you can say, start counting on 3 and stop on 7. Start counting on 2 and stop on 8. So you can start on one number and stop on another number. But it's a lot that you're mainly working on getting them to count, so that when you're counting out blocks that Ms. Hammond had, or you're testing on if they can give you blocks, you get the child that starts counting and they just keep giving you as many as there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I said give me 4. Did you give me 4? No. Well, take these back and try. Give me 4. How many are you going to give me? 4. Now try again. And the chances are they can't stop once they start moving their hand and moving their mouth. The 2 steps go together, make it very hard to do. Not 1 and 2. I mean, most of the time they can get 1 and 2 without counting. But if you're counting to 6 or 9 or, a higher number than that you can't just look at what you got and know that it's 1 or 2, then they get carried away. And how about when you get to count to 13 and stop, or 18? Once they start on those teen numbers, boy, they just keep right on going. If you're going to count those teen numbers, you just keep right on going on them. And pretty soon they're giving you every block that's in the bucket.
So for, this is an off the topic question, but if I'm going to have younger 4s, and I will more than likely have some 3s in there. And so what number should I start counting to? Should we start at 10 or should we start at like 4?
I would start at 5.
Start at 5?
I would start counting to 5.
Because I know there's gonna be some in there that can count to 30. There's
I'm
gonna be
sure
some
there
that
are.
can not count past 2.
Right.
And so start at 5 and then build up.
And
To the
if
time.
possible, you think of, if you can, which you probably can't, except if it was nighttime and they don't go to sleep, or they come in slowly, you know how kids drift in sometimes. During the first week, if they've been here before, you know a little bit more about them.
Yeah.
If they've never been here before, you know
Yeah.
nothing, hardly even their name, even recognizing them when they're new. So if you have a chance, ask them to count for you. Ask them if they know what their name looks like. Can you find your name? I mean, this is really hard when they haven't been anywhere. The 3s are taught to at least recognize their name, and I think they work on that when they're 2, learning to recognize their name. But if you get a brand new 4-year-old, they may not know how to recognize their name. And you say, go put your stuff in your bucket, and all these buckets over there, they don't remember which one is theirs. So you're going to try to find out, can they recognize their name? I mean, the chances are they can't write their name, but recognize their name. How far can they count? Do they know any colors? And sometimes, mostly if they're brand new, they don't know number recognition.
Yeah.
But counting and colors are something that people often teach them at home.
Yes.
Hopefully they taught them some colors, but not always.
Yeah.
But it's easier if you know what you've got to work with. Everybody can already count to 5, so let's go to 10.
Yeah.
Or we have 5 children that can't even get to 5, so we better work on 5. And Miss Hammond does the same thing when she's testing for kindergarten. What can we count to?
Pardon?
What did they count to? What was about the lowest
The
we got?
lowest one was some of the kids didn't know 6, 7, 8, and 9.
That's number recognition, but counting.
Oh, counting, they can count to 12.
He says 13, he says,
But
well,
he skips
13, 14, 14. Yeah.
He doesn't even,
15.
he doesn't even say all 3 of those things. If he did, I'd let him go, but he doesn't.
But he does.
Somewhere.
He does, and then he goes straight to 17, and then he knows he messed up, so then he goes 7, it's my kid.
So we
And
have
then he goes 17, 20, and then he'll like,
Yeah.
So 12 is where we are.
They lost in there.
yeah.
So the 12 is where we are now.
So where are you going to start counting to? 12 or 15, something right along in there.
Well, I'd start with like with a 13 and get that 13
Yeah.
down, and then add, you know, like what is it?
Solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
Solid,
Yeah,
right.
solid.
And so you have to start where the lowest child is. And one year it may be 13, and the next year it may be 15. It's hardly ever 20. It's always somewhere in the teens.
Someone in the teens.
It's always in the teens. That's not unusual. That's perfectly normal.
Usually that's 13, 14, 15. Usually.
Is usually, once you get to 16, it goes much better. But that 13, 14, 15 is very hard. Doesn't matter what age you are.
So if, how, like, if you have a kid that can count to 12, and you start at, you know, we're gonna count to 13 or whatever, 14, how long do you wait if he's just not getting it? And,
Pretty long time. If you go on, you'll lose him for the rest of the year.
I make
So
them 13
even
and
if-
everything. I make them 13 in line when we count it. I had a child who did that, but then I realized she just said 13, 13, 15. And, yeah.
And then you start,
But maybe 14 and everything.
all right, this is a really good question here.
yeah,
He can't get the 13.
so if he counts like, because I know this about him, and I'm a teacher here, and so like when we're in the car, I'm like, Brian, let's count together. We literally count together multiple times in the evening by ourselves. And if I'm counting with him, then he's like, oh yeah, and he like does it, but by himself
Okay, so this is what I do with a child, no matter what number they're on. A lot of times they skip a number somewhere in there. Not necessarily 13, but it's often 13 or 15, usually one of those two numbers. I say, listen, let's count this. 11, 12, 13. 11, 12, 13. 11, 12, 13. Now let's do it again. 11, 12, 13. 11, 12, and 13. You're trying to get them to do it. Now you do it. 11, 12, 13. So you're doing just this little tiny hard part over and over and over. And then you say, now let's start back on 1. Because now you're trying to invoke longer memory, starting from 1 and going up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then they've lost it again. That's why you have to keep doing this 11, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13. And then if they get that, then you can do 11, 12, 13, 14. 11, 12, 13, 14. And it's usually 13, 14, and 15 are the 3 really hard numbers.
Yeah.
After that comes 20.
That's where he's 13, 14, and 15 is where he really struggles.
Right.
And so I've done, okay, we're going to start from 10. So 10, 11, and we go all the way up.
Making them do the ones they can't do, whether it's the talking letters, whether it's the felt letters, whether whatever it is. Or if we're counting and everybody's counting fine, but these 3 children can't count, then I say, these 3 stand up, you're going to get a turn. See if you can count for me. So they get a turn and they get to count, and then everybody gets to count. So if everybody's counting to 19 and they're getting to 13, let's hear you count to 13, and then we'll all go to 19 or whatever it is. You've got to keep bringing those low children up, or else they'll be left behind from the very first to the end of the year, and there's no hope. If you get lost in the first month of school, how are you ever going to get caught up? You can't. Now, as I said, you know, there's sometimes 1 or 2 children that are never going to get it. Sometimes they have a physical problem that they want. Sometimes
They inconsistent coming to school all the time.
right,
That one is probably
right. But you do the best you can, and even if it is May, April, March, April, May, April. We're almost at the end of school, but it's April, and you get a new child in. Does that happen? Yes.
every year.
It always happens. So what are you going to do with a new child when everybody else can do everything?
I had tutoring sessions.
Which is a good
What
plan.
I told my parents. What it would be helpful though if we could get some kind of like crash course. It doesn't have to be as in depth as the lead teachers, but some kind of crash course to teach the closers some of the curriculum, so that they can continue tutoring.
Well, they're supposed to go the first 2 weeks of school to do it with you, so you can show
But that never happens, and
It
it's not
never
because
does,
it's
does
not because of poor direction or anything like that. It's just because preschool has a high turnover rate, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really hard, especially for people who are only interested in closing. This is-
All right, so let's say the whole class is counting to 49,
Yeah.
59. Here comes this new child in April that can't count at all.
Yeah.
Or maybe gets to 5 or 6. You say, okay, today we're counting to 59. First, Jack, you're going to count to 10 for us.
Yeah.
So you count with him 3 times and then let the class count.
Okay.
Okay, before we go over all of our sounds, Jack's going to do the red sounds, or Jack and Mary, or whoever it is. So whatever that child needs, if you don't get it in circle time, there is a good chance you won't get to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have good plans, but individual work time, somehow there's plenty of things going on there and others that need help. So
Yeah.
in my lesson plan book, I put Jack, 1 to 10, class to 1 to 49.
Yeah.
Or Jack, red sounds, class, review all sounds.
I just want to mention really quickly that I used to have, I did at home class at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I would try to make it a half an hour, and it wasn't working, the kids were too tired. And I tried it, that was 20 minutes, and they were just silly and off the wall. They're too tired. They're through with schoolwork. You don't get it done during the day, during your school day. They're just not going to listen. That's at 5.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I have to pick up my son.
So if they're not pulled out during 5 minutes, but you kind of have to do it during the work. They're too tired, it's silly, they don't want to pay attention, they're done, mommy didn't get no control.
And if they're a child that doesn't nap, you could always do it for the first, work with them for the first 10 minutes or 15 of nap time.
I think if it's counting or stuff, like I would pull kids on the playground.
Oh, yeah.
And be like,
I always
while
did
they're
that.
singing, can you count for me? And
Oh,
they don't really
always.
think about it, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna do it so they can go play.
Yeah.
And playground time is the time for physical skills. There's a ton of physical skills in there. If you have to test on them, you better have practiced them.
Yes.
They can't learn how to pump themselves on a swing if you've never taught them.
Yep.
They're not going to learn that by themselves.
They think it's crazy when I get on the swing and show them how to do it.
Yeah.
They think it's the funniest thing in the world. But they'll bounce the ball.
Or bounce the ball, or stand on one foot, or hop.
Right, get a, so that's why I'm trying to get your big kid, get your handle.
I'll get on this week and I'll show
Or
them.
someone who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
And I do that. Talking about the counting, and I had one that I really thought couldn't count because she wouldn't for me. Even me listening to her with the work, and she didn't know I was listening, until she had to count her Easter eggs for me. Got them all.
I had a parent one time, the child couldn't count to whatever we were counting to in class. I think it was probably 50 or 60 because we were pretty far along. And the parent kept insisting after the progress report, yes, yes he can, yes he can, yes he can. I said, fine, come over here, John, count for me. So the child went 19, 20, and the parent said, yeah, now 21. So the child went 21, 22. Now 30, and the child went 30. Now 40. And she said, see, he can count. I said, you're telling him what to say.
I was literally mouthing that to you. Literally here.
They don't understand that if they
Look, I
miss.
did it with him last night.
Braden, so, can I tell the story? So Braden came in to help the kindergarten a few years ago, and she wouldn't talk to me, she was very shy, she wouldn't talk to me. So mom brought her in and she sat with her. And so I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try to test her. So I started flashing the colors to her. And so the first one was purple. And I just waited there for her to kind of start, ooh, this color, how many colors, whatever I was talking to her about. My favorite color, what it was. And mom said, oh, you know this color is purple.
Yeah.
But she would also, like, when I was doing something in class, run to Miss Hammond during lunch, like, wait, when Brady was in kindergarten, or pre-K was little, she wasn't doing this at this time, and like, or like, he should know his nines. Why doesn't he know his nines? Because he's not there. He only comes like, he misses 2 days out of the week.
He didn't always ride like that because he wasn't there until the end of the year.
Yeah, he only started coming in March. March to the end of the year, and he was there every day.
Consistent.
Yeah. So I really, like, sorry if you didn't go.
You can't learn if you're not there. But when a parent says they can do it, it usually means the parent is quote helping. And this is very, very important because we haven't touched on this at all. At all.
Got it?
Okay, when they move off, we're not doing, what are we not doing? Blending. We're not doing blending. But we're teaching blending every time we use our work in the classroom. So after they've learned the red sounds, then you have a red word box. So you're going to have to work in circle a little bit on how are you going to read that red word box when you get to it. And so you're going to teach them blending. And blending means you're going to say this sound and not stop, keep going till you get to the next one. So what is this sound? Ah. And what is this sound? Now let's start here, but not stop. We're not going to take our breath. It sounds like you're singing when you do this. Say it again. Faster. Am. What word is that? Am. I am here. All right, let's look at this. This is not a real word. This is just some sound. What is this sound? And this sound? Eh. And this sound says eh. Are you ready? Don't stop. Meh. Say it fast. Meh. Do it again. Meh. 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 Now let's sing it. Sounds like you're singing. Sa. Sa. Say it fast. Sa. So you've been doing say it fast. And when you're teaching them to read this, you're teaching them to hold the sound and then say the next one. These are only red sounds, and they're not words. Then you get to 3-letter words, so you're going to hold them all. And what's the hardest sound in all these words? It's the middle vowel sound. So because they have to say this, and then they have to stop and think. Now, what is that sound right there? So the very first thing you do is you say, look at what's in the middle. Eh. What's in the middle? Eh. Now, let's start here. Met. Met. Say it fast. Met. I met the duck. Whatever. So you've got to teach them to blend the sounds and then say it fast. Now, when you first start, these are not real words. But when you get to something, when you get to the blue page, you get real words, so you're matching a word with a picture. And as they say it, then they can find the picture that goes with it. But at the beginning, when you're doing the red words, all you're doing is listening till they can they blend it, can they say it fast, and can they find where it goes. They can find where it goes with no problem. It's the say it, can they blend it, and say it fast. And that's how you're going to use the blending with the other without doing the Distar blending. You would probably have to work on this a little bit in class before you get there, but it's not like you're doing all the book and all the pages and everything else. It's the skill that you're working on, being able to blend them, because it's much easier to read met than it is to say et, and then try to hear how that goes together in your mouth. All right. You get out 3 minutes early. Hallelujah. And if you have any questions and things you want to know more about, write them down on a piece of paper, give them to Miss Faulkner, and she will try to find me and ask. Because every teacher has different areas that they... You do. And we're supposed to cover geography. But if you look in your book and read the section on geography, that'll cover it. Confused on B's and D's. Very confused on B's and D's. Very confused in first grade, kindergarten, first grade. Even second grade still gets confused on B's and D's. And there's an easy way, and if we would start teaching it as the young child, here is the 4-year-olds, and maybe the older 3s, but probably they don't get B's and D's yet, because they don't get to the orange sounds yet. But if they were taught this to start with, then they might start thinking this way automatically. If you are walking and you get to the B, what do you get to first? The straight line, right? Make your mouth straight. Buh, buh, buh. So when you see the straight line, close your mouth and say, buh, When you're walking and you get to the D, what do you get to first? The D, the circle. Open your mouth like a circle, put your tongue up and make a circle and say, duh, duh, duh. So when you see the circle, put your tongue up, make a circle, duh. If you see the line, close your mouth and say, buh.
Nice.
And if you did that right from the beginning, then they might do it automatically.
It's nicer talking.
Nicole was 19 and not for saying